All right, welcome on in to another episode of DCU Daily and Also Curious, guys. We have a packed show for you, as per always. You already got a few of you in the chat, so thank you for joining us live. I'm, of course, your host, Daniel. Today's show, like I mentioned, we have a lot to get into. I just want to quickly say hello to Kyle first in the chat. It's Bizarro time. We'll get into that later. And yes, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. We will talk about Hulk Hogan right at the start of the show after the intro. But we have Monique in the chat as well. Hello, all. Hope you're having a splendid Thursday. It's Tuscan baked chicken thighs and roasted veggies, Italian mac and cheese, and caprese salad night in Mikasa. Holy cow. Now I'm freaking hungry all over again. You know what? And I just had some pizza. Okay. Thank you, Monique. I wish I had some of what you're having because that sounds delicious. But okay. If you guys are watching live, if you guys are watching after we have been live, here's the breakdown for today's show. We're going to start off by talking about the Paramount Skydance merger that just got approved finally. Under some suspect circumstances. I guess it depends on how you look at it, but that's finally done. We're going to talk about the passing of Hulk Hogan. I'm going to give you guys a bit of a run through his career, what we remember him for, and then from there we have some trailer reactions, including the brand new Predator Badlands trailer, which might be giving us a hint at a lot more xenomorphs in the movie than we previously thought. We have a lot of Fantastic Four news, including, post-credit scenes got leaked. We're not going to give you the spoilers, but we will touch upon some of the, the non-spoiler territory stuff that's out there. Also, Ralph Ineson, potentially getting his really big break, being part of the Marvel franchise Mephisto. Also looking, wow, Sacha Baron Cohen does not look like Borat anymore, so we'll talk about that. And then, of course, for DC side, we've got more Superman behind-the-scenes looks, Peacemaker Season 2 coming to Comic-Con. We'll talk about Booster Gold. There's some more we didn't cover yesterday. For example, like, hey, who was working on the show before the writer they hired to work on it, which we talked about in yesterday's show. And we have to get into, of course, some box office information. I want to break down for you guys why Superman is not doing so well internationally and why it's doing so well domestically, and compare it to how previous Superman movies have done. Also, let's take a look at what it's been doing the past few days. We're going to talk about it at the box office. So to do that and so much more, let's get this show started, shall we? It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
Right, Mr. I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding. You're kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. And you're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see Corbin's.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the needs now?
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow! Wow!
All right, let's get into it, shall we? I didn't even mention the fact that when we talk about Fantastic Four, Liz went to see the movie today, and she sent us her out-of-theater review. We're going to bring that up as well, especially because, Justin Geeky Guy already coming in with a, super chat. Thank you so much for that, Justin Geeky Guy. You're telling us that you just saw Fantastic Four First Steps. Phenomenal is the word you're using to describe it. 8.5 out of 10. That is amazing. That is fantastic. That is terrific. We got Steven in the house. Steven saying, hey, crew. Well, hello, Steven. Kyle is also, of course, watching us live. This is Come in Threes. This is, I'm sure you're talking about Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne. It does, tend to be like that. But hey, we've got a lot to talk about beyond just the passing of Hulk Hogan on today's show. To do that with me, as per always, as you can already hear him in the background, we've got John. How are you?
Yes, I'm sorry. I have a creaky chair. There's only so much I can fucking do about that, okay?
I'm not complaining about that, man. I'm not complaining. It's like, I don't mind it when you're giving us like your ASMR eating food and stuff either. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I have chicken parm right here that I got next. Oh, I am very lopsided. Hang on. It's like Inception in here. Hang on. Let me Yeah, that works. Okay.
There you go.
Anyway. But yes, I am here. I am filling up on food, and I'm ready to get into stuff about. Well, I'm happy to get into exciting things like Fantastic Four and Superman and anything adjacent to that.
Yeah, there's some Italian on the menu today. I had pizza earlier. John is
Yeah, me. Play the music. No, I'm just kidding.
Now you want me to play the music? Okay.
No, hang on.
Yeah, if you guys are a fan of Italian on the menu, there you go. And now he's frozen. Oh, hey, you're back. There we go.
It's
good to see you too, Enterprising. It's good to see you too. Another super chat from Justin Geeky Guy. I'm going to bring more of this, and I'm going to bring these back when we talk about Fantastic Four. But you were saying my only problem with Fantastic Four was that the pacing was slow in parts, and wish that they picked a villain besides Galactus. My pick would be Molecule Man. You know what? That's a good comment. I, for one, have not seen the movie yet, so I wouldn't be able to.
Neither we cannot judge or.
Yeah, I cannot judge it in its truest sense. I'm going to be going to see it hopefully, tomorrow or over the course of the weekend. Liz has already seen it, so we are going to bring you her out of theater reaction later in the show. But I mean, look, it's a good movie so far. The reviews are holding strong. Yeah, Steven, it is shocking to hear that Hulk Hogan has passed away. Like, holy cow. Like, I had one of those like moments today. I actually teared up for a bit because I know I grew up watching Hulk Hogan. So, and I I'm a big wrestling fan, so that's why. Hunter Iggy though is in the chat. What's up, Hunter Iggy? How are you doing? Honka Honka. Caleb is here, John. Speaking of, we were missing you yesterday.
Caleb, we missed you the past couple days. Hope everything is all right.
Yeah, Justin Geeky guys.
Now we have that DCU Daily intro with Jared Leto, and every time I see that, I think of you. So it's like when I don't see the shit poster of Oh So Curious, I get a little worried. So I hope you're okay.
Yeah. Well, I think Caleb is going to be more than just okay because he's in for one hell of a show, as are we all. So the first thing we're going to start off with on today's show, I mentioned at the very top, is going to be, of course, the Skydance Paramount merger. It's finally happened. It's been approved by the FCC, clearing the way for the $8 billion deal to close. John, here's the thing. It's kind of hard to talk about this without having to talk about everything that has led up to this merger, right? Closing, because the FCC practically and the administration was in the US here. They were basically holding both Paramount and Skydance hostage. And of course, we've had a few things happen in recent weeks. We've been talking about it, of course, from the cancellation of the Late Show with Stephen Colbert to Skydance recently just like made some more concessions on their part. Like they're like, we don't have a DEI program, we won't ever do one. And there's been one of the executives over, I think at Paramount, one of the three co-CEOs is set to step down. Chris McCarthy is going to depart after the completion of the deal. So you have, people moving in and about. I mean, and this guy, for example, Chris was there for 22 years. I worked at Paramount not too long ago while he was one of, the part of the office of the CEO, which is the weirdest situation where they've had three CEOs leading the company in this transitional phase. But hey, the news is the deal is closing. It looks like, they've made enough concessions. Which again, some will tell you that was circumstantial evidence that was the reason why this deal is not. But what are your thoughts, John? I mean, do you feel like, given everything that has led up, you see here in the photo, of course, the FCC chairman on the left, Brendan Carr on the right, you see David Ellison, who is the son of the Ellison empire being led by why am I forgetting? Is it David Ellison's father is, I am blanking on the name. Larry
Ellison? No,
Larry Ellison. Well, I was forgetting. Larry Ellison, one of the richest men on the planet, one of the richest men on the planet. He, of course, made his wealth with Oracle and stuff, which they're a big business-to-business company. But of course, David Ellison is the one who is in charge of Skydance, and now Skydance is essentially for $8 billion acquiring Paramount. And with all the controversy in the public sphere around everything that has led up to it, including the lawsuit, the 60 Minutes stuff, the head of 60 Minutes quit, and they brought in somebody new. It's just, you could say they've been acquiescing to demands to get this deal to go through, but I somewhat understand the perspective of like, they were like, if they didn't do this, then Paramount would be, pardon the phrase, but shit out of luck potentially, because it took a long time for them to get to this point. We have covered this story for a year. Just want to get your opinions on this, John. The deal is finally done. Was this the deal with the devil to make this happen at the end of the day? Or do you look at this as, now that they made it happen, maybe, Paramount will be more cash rich and we'll get more Mission Impossible movies? I don't know. What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
I mean, ignoring everything that's happened, like, I know it's like kind of like a hard thing to like talk about, as you mentioned, but I will say, like, I'm not gonna like boycott Paramount. Yeah.
Anyway,
I saw that clip. I saw a clip from it. Obviously, like, I don't know. It's just like I get it, but it's like it's like a whole mess of shit, because it's like, I'm not trying to defend a corporation. Obviously, they did a stupid, shitty thing, and they're bending to the biggest asshole in the land. So it's like, all right, fine. But it's like, at the same time, I think Skydance will be a good place for Paramount. It's nice to see that one of the oldest institutions in the American film industry is still like remaining alive. Like, that I'll view as someone who respects film history more than anything. I'm going to view it as that. I will view it as giving respect to, Paramount, and like it remaining that way, and Skydance saving it from that, even though they've done a lot of not great things.
Yeah, and then, the question from Steven, I think, is a good one, because the idea of, hey, now that these two companies are coming together, it's a good question to ask. What will this merger mean in terms of the movies, and also that Paramount works on and has in the library, and of course future of Paramount pictures, as well as other franchises that they have under their belt outside of Mission Impossible and Top Gun, like Transformers. To answer that question, I mean, John, like you were just hinting at, I think you kind of almost gave it away, in the sense that Paramount now has more money to play with, because as part of this deal, a part of that $8 billion goes towards taking care of a lot of the debt that Paramount had. And then in addition to that, they've, obviously acquired all the assets that Paramount has. So in that regard, this does give them more wiggle room. And on that front, here's what else I'll add. Sorry, Liz is texting us right now, so I'm just trying to make sure she's not sending us anything more important for Fantastic Four. But okay, so we know for one thing, the Transformers franchise, anything that Paramount already has, that's not going anywhere. Skydance actually brings a few other things that they own, property-wise, IP, not anything nearly significant as what Paramount already had. Paramount is the second oldest studio in Hollywood, I think, after Universal, right, John? I think that's in terms of the age, Paramount is like the second oldest.
So I'll have to look it up, but that sounds about right.
Right. So on that front, I think Paramount, gets to exist. Their backlog doesn't get sold for parts. Now, we don't know what Skydance ultimately has in mind long term, but one of the reasons why they, made this sale to Skydance, or this deal with Skydance, has to do with, well, essentially, they were in a situation where Sony might have wanted to buy them and sell them for parts, because Sony was only interested in the IP. What you see with the Skydance, because remember, guys, you've already seen the Skydance logo before every Mission Impossible movie for the last however long it has been. The Top Gun Maverick, all the big Paramount movies have been financed by Skydance for years. So these companies have already been working together for a very long time. Now it's just that they'll become one company, and obviously Skydance becomes the owners. But I'm guessing at the end of the day, Skydance it will not be like Paramount Skydance. It'll probably be Paramount whatever, and then Skydance will become
where it's like, or it's like Columbia, a Sony Pictures company, that kind of thing. If I were to take a guess, that's how the vibe is going to be.
Absolutely, I think you might be right. That might actually, that might be exactly how it is. So on that front, John, what do you see happening in the future of Paramount Skydance? Are they going to start selling CBS for parts? Are they, like, with everything that's been happening recently, and what else might change, do you think?
I have no clue. Again, business stuff more than I do. But I just think it's entirely possible that, like, television stuff. They might like sell some stuff off. So
thank you,
we'll
Enterprising.
see. But it's like, oh, they could do that because it's like television's going the way of the dinosaurs. It's kind of at a loss right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, because I feel like now
I can
that
see
like
that.
Disney, outside of Disney, Warner Brothers has done the whole thing with splitting in their TV stuff and away from the rest of the company. NBC Universal also did that. So maybe that's part of it. I mean, yeah, Paramount does own MTV. Yeah, exactly, Kyle. So like that MTV is also a more of a broadcast network, although they do have their own series of like they have a studio, like MTV Studios makes sure that they made the Halo show, for example. So there's that. I did want to say hello to Eugene, who just said he got back just in time from the movie, from seeing Fantastic Four. Ron is here in the chat. So hello to you guys. Enterprising, thank you for the super chat. We do appreciate it. We're gonna get into Fantastic Four in a little bit. So yeah, I think it's yet to be seen just how much the company is gonna change now that they're under essentially new ownership, with Paramount now being owned by Skydance. Now the deal hasn't officially closed, but it does. The FCC approval was the last big hurdle, so they're gonna close potentially later at some point this year, and we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see, if MTV starts playing music videos again the way they used to back in the old days. Yeah, downright bribing seems to be okay now, Eugene. And we talked about the controversy behind this whole situation with it's I think in terms of a PR side of things, they couldn't have like handled things worse. But I mean, I don't know, like where are you gonna go now? Like you're in the middle of it, and at this point, the business transaction closes, and we'll see how the company moves forward. We're going to get into the quickest in a little bit. Don't you worry, Ron. Don't you worry. The next thing that we got to talk about, though, but John, before I get to it, I did have a question for you. Did you get your tickets to Fantastic Four? Like, are you seeing it tomorrow?
I did. I've said it many times. I have the tickets for 3:45 tomorrow at my AMC Dolby Theater.
All right. Okay. Cool. Okay. Now, what I did want to do, since you guys are here talking about Fantastic Four, like Eugene has given us a 9 out of 10. They're giving this a huge rating. Let's kind of switch focus, because I want to get into the Hulk Hogan stuff in a minute, but let's kind of start with getting into some of the other stuff that we have before then. Let me see if I can find. I had so many things open. Okay, we're gonna get to Fantastic Four, and then we're gonna move into some of the other stuff. So because I feel like we gotta get to that a little bit quicker. And with that in mind, let me bring over the Fantastic Four graphics. So I know we're not talking spoilers for Fantastic Four today. We are talking spoilers for Superman. So, Superman is in spoiler territory, but not Fantastic Four. But as a lot of you guys are saying, you just went and saw it. So make sure you don't get into the spoiler territory. But John, it turns out the post-credit scenes were leaked, and this is before the Thursday screenings happened. And obviously now that people are going to see it, you can imagine they were only going to be able to hide that stuff for so long. So with that in mind, let's kind of quickly dive into it. I'm not going to go into the spoiler. We're not going to spoil it for you, so don't worry, guys. But comicbookmovie.com, for example, did mention that
I'm gonna head out. I don't want anything spoiled. I already have had enough spoiled, so I'm just gonna. You could talk about this. I know you said no spoilers, but I'm like, I don't want anything to be talked about, so I'm just gonna head out for a hot sec. You can explain it. See you later.
Right. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so there are two scenes, post-credit scenes. There is the mid and then the post. All I'll say is there were rumors out there of one of the scenes being something that we might have thought it would be from test screenings, which, as it turns out, it kind of is. So it turns out that they weren't giving us a fake out in the test screenings, which is, I did not expect that. Again, that's one of those things where, like, we got the monkeys and we got the monkeys in Superman, and it turns out we got a little bit of what we thought we might be getting here. So anywho, so I'm just going to leave it there without spoiling it for you guys, for anybody who has not seen it. There are two post-credit scenes, so do stick around for the second one after the credits roll. Although the second one after the credits roll is sort of non-consequential to the story, it's more like a fun thing, kind of like what Superman post-credit sequences were. So if you did leave after the mid-credits scene, then yeah, you'll be just fine. Don't worry about that. But there's that. Now let's talk a little bit about Ralph Ineson, who's of course voicing the Fantastic Four's Galactus. So there's that. I mean, John just told me in a private chat that he's going to pencil in the idea that he could, if he needed to, leave after the mid-credit scene, which, yeah, you don't have to stick around for the second one. It's the first one has an impact on the story because the first one actually, so I'm going to go back to this real quick without spoiling again. We know that the Russo brothers directed the mid-credit scene, mid-credit scene. So kind of like what they did with, of course, directing the post-credit scene of Thunderbolt. So if that gives you any idea, of course, they're working on Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. So the mid-credit scene does tie into Avengers Doomsday pretty directly, although it still kind of leaves. I think if you know what the post-credit scene is, again, for those of you guys who, and like Justin Geeky Guy, Eugene, who have seen the movie, you know that it does leave you with a few more questions and answers because it doesn't quite connect the dots as to where Doomsday might start as a movie. But anyway, so with that, though, let's move on back to talking about Ralph Innocent. I wonder how good his voice work was in the movie. The scene is out there. You can hear him talking. It was leaked online, but I want to hear from you guys if you enjoyed his voice performance, because Ralph Innocent not that long ago was just a nameless pilot in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And now all of a sudden he's playing Galactus, potentially the definitive version of Galactus, no less. So I want to hear from you guys. Like, what did you think about Galactus's performance? I know one of you guys said, let me see if I can go back and find the comment. Let's see, who said they were like, I think it was just some geeky guy. You mentioned that maybe they shouldn't have gone with Galactus in the very first movie, which, you know, they've gone with Doctor Doom every other time, but they couldn't do that this time for obvious reasons. So Molecule Man, isn't he in the movie? I mean, again, no spoilers, but I thought he was in the movie, but he's not really a part of the main storyline. But hey, getting your reactions, just saw First Steps, phenomenal. Justin Geeky Guy gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Eugene gave it a 9 out of 10. So clearly you guys have loved it. Justin Geeky Guy also saying it's funny that this is the fourth attempt to make a Fantastic Four film, and it was by far the best. Coincidence? I think not. You know what? That's
referencing the actual best Fantastic Four movie. Yeah. I see what you did there.
You include the 1994 version that never got released. But anyway, hey, Justin Geeky Guy saying something.
I was talking about The Incredibles. Coincidence? I think not. That's
oh, I didn't get that reference, but okay, you did. There you go.
Coincidence? I think not.
I totally did not put those pieces together. But you know what's most interesting? Justin Geeky Guy saying that he actually prefers Fantastic Four First Steps over Superman because the main villain Galactus was more menacing than Holt's Luthor. That's interesting because I felt like Holt's Luthor was kind of really, really menacing at times. So that's, although again, you know, and other times he was really goofy and comic booky, but that's the kind of movie Superman is. So there's that. Let's see, what other reactions do we have? You guys are talking in the chat. Let me pick this up. Eugene saying Galactus was beautifully rendered. So there you go, John. I know you were worried about like his colorless. I mean, if you guys have seen the movie, let us know if you thought, I mean, again, Galactus's CGI, was that up to par? I mean, Eugene, did you think that it was better than Superman? And then Eugene answering the question saying he actually thought it was slightly better. 9 out of 10, John, versus 8.5 out of 10 for Superman. So Eugene is the second person in the chat that we have seen who prefers ever so slightly, according to his scores. Fantastic Four potentially a better movie. That's interesting. Okay. Did you guys get on early today because of John's sleep? Yeah, I think it's for both of us because we've both kind of ruined our sleep schedules with Superman week, Steven. So we're trying to get back to a relatively normal schedule. But you know, when we said normal, we were still live till like midnight on East Coast yesterday. So we'll see how long this show goes. But Enterprising hasn't seen it yet, but he will see it when he can. Based on what the people are saying, it seems to be slightly better according to Enterprising. Yeah, I mean, it seems like people, for the most part, are saying it's slightly better. And Monique saying, I think all the post-credit scenes should be online because I always have to pee and miss them. That's a good point. John, what about you? I know you and Liz talk about it all the time. Like, people got to go pee. Like, you're going to really stick through the post. Not everybody can stick around. Although this movie isn't very long. But, you know.
Here's the thing. If, like, I don't agree. First of all, I don't think there should be any fucking post-credit scenes anymore. Like, it's just kind of whatever at this point. However, if you have to include them, make it so that the tease for the next movie on Marvel's side, make sure it's at the end of the credits so people can go and fucking take a piss and then come back in and then, like, just quickly pop your head into the theater, see the tease for the next movie. It's like, okay, cool, I saw it, great, and then moving on. So that's what should be done. Have the cute, jokey one. Oh, he's going in and out. Galactus has found him. But he's going. But I think like having the joke as the middle one. It's like, oh, haha, that's funny. Ooh, I can't wait for what we see for the tease for the next movie at the end of the credits, instead of like, you know, Captain America swinging a chair and being like, so you sat through the entire credits. And it's just like, all right, eat a dick, man. I got places to be. I don't fucking need to be in this theater fucking sitting on my ass and looking at this stupid shit. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a good point. That's a good, you're making a great point there. And also Enterprising saying, so long as it's, you know, Superman doesn't hurt too much from Fantastic Four success.
Hey. I will say, just sorry to cut you off, Enterprising. I just saw Eugene's comment. As long as it's not Twilight Breaking Dawn levels of bad, I think we should be fine. Just want to say that. Anyway, sir, you're continuing.
But dude, it's hard. It's hard to get that right. Like there was a CGI baby in the latest season of Squid Games, and you could tell pretty much every single time he was on screen that baby was not real. So it's hard to get that right because we are so tuned to looking at a baby and like, you know, seeing human faces. It's hard to get the CGI right because the uncanny valley is really difficult, especially animation. I find like most of the times the VFX artists overdo the animation because most babies, like they imagine they're like, you know, doing these little movements, but a lot of babies don't move. They're over animating the expressions and the movement, and that's usually something that I think, causes problems, the whole uncanny effect. But it looks like Galactus was beautifully rendered, so there you go. We got Movie Spud in the chat now saying good evening all. Lots of celebrity deaths this week. Chuck Mangione also passed away. I hope to see Fantastic Four tomorrow. Welcome on in. Yeah, and we haven't talked about Hulk Hogan yet, but we will in a bit. We also have Alex in the chat. Hello, Alex. So yeah, we are going to talk about Superman's box office struggles, but there's a caveat to it. We're talking more about the international box office and kind of breaking down where things are now. Like, the international box office is lagging behind the domestic. And yeah, I found a good article on the Hollywood Reporter, I think, which was giving us a good idea of like maybe reasons why, and then how other Superman movies have done in the past and why things might be different than they used to be. So that's something we will talk about. Eugene saying this movie is an hour, 50 minutes, and the mid-credit scene starts in 90 seconds after the movie ends. So that's great. John, you haven't seen the movie, but you're going to see it tomorrow, and make sure you note that down. So, and anybody else, you know, there you go. You guys have some notes there without giving away any spoilers. Movie Spud saying, wow, could we actually have two great superhero movies, one Marvel and one DC at the same time in theaters? Yeah, it seems like that's where we are at. I mean, they're both holding strong on Rotten Tomatoes as well. Yeah, the baby is completely CGI in Squid Games, Jordan. It is. Yes. I hear you. And I don't think I for a second believed it wasn't, but I'm just going to welcome on and Movie Spud in the chat there. Eugene, of course. We got Monique here. We have Steven, Ron. All right. So Kevin just dropped in as well. Okay, Kevin, how are you doing? Saying Fantastic Four First Steps domestic box office debut prediction is 120 to 140 million. Okay. So that's what Kevin thinks it's going to do. Kevin, we're going to make a note of that. The official predictions are 100 to 110. So we wonder if it's going to stay in that range, or like you're suggesting, it could maybe overperform. We'll have to see how that works. Let's see. I thought I had a couple other things. No, that's about it for the Fantastic Four stuff. But before we finish up, John, having seen all these reactions and stuff, I do want to get a sense from you. Like, are you more excited for the movie now? People are saying it might be even better than Superman. At least everybody who's here seems to be suggesting that. So are you looking forward to it even more than you were, you know, a
Not
day
really.
ago now that you're getting these reactions?
I still have dreadfully low expectations. I tend to not believe anything in regards to anyone about the Marvel machine. The only person I kind of believe, and I say this only kind of, is my friend who is a notorious MCU hater. Like, he hates the majority of MCU movies, just saw the movie and he gave it a 10 out of 10. So That's the only thing I'm willing to believe. However,
That's a high bar.
he might be doing that out of spite because he also despises James Gunn with every fiber of his being and might do that just to say, oh, this is a 5-star movie while Superman isn't, even though he has not seen Superman. So that's the only thing I'm like kind of iffy on. But outside of that, I'm like, I would believe that. I don't really tend to believe anyone else when it comes to Marvel because it's like, I'm usually the outlier. I don't try to be, but like, and again, I've just been so incredibly disappointed by what the output at this point, outside of like 2-3 movies, maybe, that I just can't be excited for. I just can't be excited for it. It's just like outside of Spider-Man, I just don't really care.
Okay, fair enough. Man of Time is here saying that he personally did not like Fantastic Four, but he's happy that everybody else did. And you know what? That's the spirit, right? So everybody else who's here, the movie will hit all of us differently. I might go there and love it. I might go there and watch it and hate it. John is seeing it tomorrow. I'll see if I can get out to see it. It's going to be interesting. Good question, though, from Kyle. Who's asking, will it make more money with San Diego Comic-Con this weekend? You know, I don't think Comic-Con has ever truly affected the box office of a movie in that sense. If anything, it's probably going to like help it, right? Like, I don't know if you're saying that's actually what you're asking. Is it going to make more money because more people are going to Comic-Con? That is actually in the quick hits, we have to talk about a little bit of like, there's all this marketing around town in San Diego for all these projects that are being showcased at Comic-Con this year, including ones that don't even have a panel, but like Fantastic Four has a lot of marketing all around San Diego. So I'm sure it's going to help, but like San Diego Comic-Con is in San Diego. So it's probably going to help the theaters in San Diego. I don't know about everywhere else so much, but I think Superman being good definitely helps because a lot of the average moviegoers who weren't going to go see another superhero movie, they're thinking Superman was great. This has got great reviews as well. Might as well go see it. So in that sense, like Enterprising said the other day, the rising tide raises all ships. So, and then Eugene saying, oh yeah, IMAX 3D for Fantastic Four was better than Superman for me. So there you go. So seems like it's a better fit for 3D as well, which is great. And IMAX 3D is like, holy cow, it's the biggest screen possible. M2G is here saying the baby CGI and the Thing's body when moving was a problem for me because it seems those could have been avoided. The Thing's face was great. His body could have been more practical. Okay. So John, I know you were concerned about that going all CGI with this. It looks like there are some criticism.
I get why they did it. Like, I'm not, it's just the only thing that pissed me was Eben Moss-Bachrach's comments about like, oh, it's like CGI is like always fucking better than practical. Yeah. It's like, have you seen any practical effect throughout your entire life? Like Exhibit A, the Thing from 1982, Exhibit B, the Thing from 2011. Say that to my face fucking again. So sometimes CGI can be really, really good if it's well utilized and VFX artists are given a lot of time. Sometimes it isn't. So I just personally didn't care for that, but I'm not against CGI. I don't hate CGI. I just prefer practical effects. And many actors, and this is not just me, many actors have said, hey, when I'm actually looking at something that's real, it's better because I have something to react to. Dave Bautista said it. Jenna Ortega has said it. It's easier for the actor to actually interact with something than just like a tennis ball floating on a string. It's like, you know, it's just a little bit better. Obviously, isn't like totally like that because Eben Moss-Bachrach was still in scenes. He was just wearing that giant like mocap suit with the dots on his face and shit. Like they still can interact with him, but it's also maybe a little bit hard where you're like doing this heavily emotional scene and you have this motherfucker in a fucking spandex and robot parts with him. But like, what do you think? Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's continue.
Yes. Sorry. I was like, let's land the plane. But anyway, so
sorry.
I just wanted to go back into the comments a little bit. So the practicality of the CGI we'll talk about, I'm sure, over the weekend and next week and see how everybody did with the CGI on the baby and the Thing, like Franklin Richards and the Thing. But yeah, Fantastic Four is sitting at 88% on the critic score right now, Enterprising telling us, and 91% in the audience score. So that will keep changing over the weekend, like you said, Enterprising. So the 91% is already lower for the audiences than it was for Superman, and 88 though is higher for critics. So, but they're kind of in the same territory, which is great to see. And N2G did say that he could see how the average general fan might like Fantastic Four over Superman. I know Fiona, for example, who you would count as like the average moviegoer, but she didn't like Superman as much, and she's already loving the trailers for Fantastic Four a lot more. So I'm gonna see how she likes it, and we're gonna go see the movie this weekend. MTG saying love the movie, had 2 huge problems with it that I can't blame on the movie with Marvel as a whole. Well, yeah, there you go. So we'll talk about the spoilers on Monday. So hold on to that stuff till Monday. And then Man of Time, again, a good point. Like Fantastic Four probably will make more money than Superman, but for me, that doesn't define the quality of the movie. There's a lot of great movies that bombed and bad movies that made bank. Exactly. Like Transformers movies, as far as, I love Transformers. I can admit that they're not the best movies, but they had $1 billion Transformers movie. So, it's all depending on your experience. Exactly. And rewatchability does matter. So I think one of you guys were commenting on which movie is more rewatchable. We're going to get into that later because James Gunn keeps asking people, are you going to go see Superman this weekend? And we'll talk about how many people are saying they will or they're not, and you guys can tell us. So we'll talk about that. Steven is having some steak and shrimp burritos. That's awesome. That's awesome. Fiona's not doing the best today. She had a migraine, so she's turned it in a bit early. So, send your best wishes for Fiona. She's going to appreciate that, I'm sure. Caleb is here, back again. Go tell your friends.
Who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Tell a friend.
Yep. Well, I hear there's a twist in the movie that is not expected. I'm not going to dive into it, but thank you, Monique, saying feel better, Fiona. I'm sure she's going to appreciate it. Sometimes she falls asleep to watching the podcast, so who knows? She might be watching this. Come on, Enterprising.
Very relaxing, me screaming to Kevin Feige about how much of a fucking idiot he is. Very relaxing.
All right, so Steven is breaking the Italian theme tonight, and for the food, getting some American food in there, steak and shrimp burrito. Actually, I don't know if that's American. That's more maybe like Mexican food. Depending, like I love some Mexican seafood recipes. They're amazing. Although I can't handle a lot of cheese. But comment from Monique for a second though about Comic-Con. I'm saving those comments because we are talking about Comic-Con later. So Amazon does have 2 Hall H panels. So I know that one of them is for Project Hail Mary, so that's going to be huge. But I wonder if the other one's going to be about James Bond. We'll get into that later. But yeah. So with that, though, as I promised earlier, let's talk about, or let's show you guys what Liz thought about the movie, because Liz did see it earlier this afternoon. She even told us the Herbie popcorn bucket cost $75, but it does hold a lot of popcorn. So let's see what she had to say. Tex-Mex. Okay, Moni, thank you. Tex-Mex is what I was going for. Shrimp and steak burrito. That sounds delicious. Caleb, just get in the chat. Everybody's telling you if it's any good or not. Fantastic Four. Let's see what Liz said, though. This
Got
is
out
what
of Fantastic Four. I apologize if it's noisy in here. It is so hot. Had to have the AC turned up. I'm trying not to melt. But anyway, gang, they got me on this one. They got me. Now I'm ready for Doomsday. And that baby was cute as ever. Oh my goodness. Hey, if you like Marvel movies, go see it. I liked it better than Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was kind of emo for me. This one was all about family. Dug it. I think we've got some new family cutaways too, so Dan, get on that. Check out Fantastic Four, guys. It's awesome.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
We love it. Love to hear it. Love to see it. Liz actually looked like she was a bit emotional. She was like, this movie did get her in the feels. Okay.
What Marvel movie doesn't? It's Liz. Her name is Liz Marvel. Like, oh my God, she liked a Marvel movie. That's crazy. I should be called Johnny DC.
Johnny DC.
For anybody who gets that reference, I will give you a super chat because that is a very obscure reference. So, you get a cookie.
Figure drawing. Vin Diesel, Marvel's first family. Hello,
remember, we are great.
Yeah, that was great. It's like, and then at the end, he's like, "I love you guys." And Guardians of the Galaxy 3, man, that was, yeah. James Gunn knows how to make a good movie or two. But yeah, right, dude is in the chat, and no worries if you're a bit late. You're seeing the movie tomorrow, it looks like, 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Did I read that right? 3 with my stepson. Dude, that's awesome. Let us know what you like about the movie, what you don't like about it. And if you enjoy it, of course, we're going to be live tomorrow, so we'll get in your review. I don't know if they'd even attempt for Namor forcing himself on Sue, especially considering, enterprising. I don't think they're going in that direction. I don't think Tenda Huerta has anything he wants to do regarding that whole situation. But to answer Steven's question, yes, one day we will make it out to San Diego Comic-Con. It's just like such a mosh pit sometimes over there. But if you guys have been, like,
the mosh pit's more fun.
It's fair enough. I mean, they're exhausting days, but Liz loves to do it. Liz went to New York Comic Con last year. She might go this year. John, I think you might make it out. We'll see.
I went once, and that's enough for me. I'll go to the smaller like conventions where it's like it's just a little bit much. Like, I don't know. It's too. I hate to sound like a fucking hipster, but it's a little bit too mainstream. It just like I prefer like smaller stuff with like smaller creators and stuff like that. That's this type of stuff I prefer. But that's just me.
All right. Okay. VC, big time in the Johnny DC, the DC mascot. Manos Time got your reference, dude.
Yes.
You got it.
Thank you, Manos. You get a cookie. You get a cookie. Oh wait, no, I didn't.
Steven's saying, isn't it shocking that all three?
Here, you get coconut almonds. There you go.
That's good. It's some chocolate, but with healthy chocolate. Anyway, Steven's saying, isn't it shocking that all three major movies in July were pretty good? I guess it depends on if you count Smurfs as a good movie. Oh, I think you mean Jurassic World. I know what you meant. But like Jurassic World, it's a summer blockbuster, right? It's like it's enjoyable. I wouldn't call it the best thing I've seen all year, but anyway, yeah. But I hear you. It's good, and it's also, whereas Superman's not doing anything really at China, out of all the big movies. I mean, Fantastic Four hasn't gone there yet, but Jurassic World making big bucks in China, like 72 million. So Kyle might be going to Vegas. All right, okay. Manos, I'm thanking you for addressing that reference. Never been to SDCC or the New York Comic Con, says Movie Spud. Been the big one here in Kansas City in March, usually around my birthday, but not yet been to one. You know what? We should go to that one. I think, John, you will appreciate the one in Kansas City. Why don't you make it out to that one? That's not so mainstream.
Why the fuck would I go to Kansas City? Ew.
Go watch the Chiefs play. I don't know.
Ew, gross. Gross. Ew.
6.5 out of 10 for Eugene
above in my room. Hello. Right there. Come on.
I don't know.
Now.
Maybe do the Giants play the Chiefs this year in Kansas? Or Kansas City? Come on. Yeah. The Smurfs film kicked my dog.
I believe it.
Good point, though, Kyle. I mean, John Campea seems to keep wanting to do, which he has a good point. Like, they're probably outgrown San Diego, but then again, they have a baseball stadium right across the street from the convention center they could easily move to. But we'll see. It's a rumor, right? Like, I don't think it's anything that's come true. But okay, Fantastic Four, like I said, we're going to talk about it in a non-spoilery review with John having seen it by tomorrow. So we're going to come back and circle around on this conversation. So hold on to your takes. We've already had a lot of you guys give us your scores, so we're keeping track of those, and you'll see what John thinks of it tomorrow. And then we'll do a spoiler conversation on Monday. Liz just gave us her out-of-theater reaction without any spoilers. She clearly loved the movie. So we're going to get to talk about all the spoilery goodness on Monday. So we make sure to stick around and come back for that one. But you know what? As far as anybody doing Super Fantastic World in one day, or Super, what would you call it? Super Jurassic or something? I feel like Liz, if she could, she would, but she's already seen all those movies on their opening weekend, so she's not. But yeah, in Liz v. Stan, bigger drawing. And on that note, I think we're gonna change focus. But let us know if you guys saw Fantastic Four already. Like, drop your comment, drop your review and your rating down in the comments down below. Right now, we're gonna move back to talking about some other news in the world of Hollywood. Of course, the next thing I want to get into, it's a bit more somber. So we're gonna spend a little bit of time talking about Hulk Hogan's passing today, and I am saving other comments that you guys have for Superman and Fantastic Four. So don't you worry. We're gonna get into that a little bit later. Like, for example, Enterprising saying, "Hey, did you guys hear that the Drin's Prince creators launching Kickstarter. I did hear about that. We don't have it on the news today, but I did hear about it. So we'll see if if that's something you want to bring in on another show. I feel bad for Superman. Manos Time saying, but Dan, do you feel like the merch sales and partnership for Superman already hit their $500 million limit? Yes, more than that probably. And quite frankly, I think Warner Brothers, when they said they want to make 500 million, they said they want to make 500 million at the box office, right? That was the report. It's not like somebody officially said it, but. And Superman, actually, we're going to do the box office breakdown later in the show. So we know that Superman is most likely going to get to 500 million by this time next week. It's just going to happen. Spoiler alert. But so I don't think they're going to have a problem there. It's on track to make 700 million, quite frankly. So there's that. But yeah, South Park is also back. Yeah. We're not going to dive into that too much, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Exactly. And Liz is right. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are pretty good. I mean, for her, Fantastic Four was even better, the Thunderbolts. So they had more spectacle, bigger stakes, felt real, love some of the action like MTG here. James Gunn just understands something. Sometimes you just, want to watch a superhero kick ass. Exactly. Lots of ass. There you go. All right. So resetting a little bit for a moment. Hulk Hogan. I don't know if you guys are wrestling fans. I don't know if Elite Easy is in the chat right now, but Hulk Hogan passed away earlier today, and I was shocked. Like, I saw the news. It was one of those, like, when Kobe Bryant passed away. Obviously, Kobe Bryant hits you different because he was a lot younger, and he had a lot more life ahead of him. Not that Hulk Hogan did not, but it's just one of those, like, he's Mount Rushmore kind of a person, and he just kind of like. Yeah, like, and it's not entirely unexpected because he wasn't doing all that well recently. But when I saw this, it passed away at the age 71. TMZ were the first one to report it. I actually kind of like, teared up for a bit, and simply because I grew up watching wrestling. So Hulk Hogan, he was wrestling back in the 80s and 90s. I know Liz is gonna talk about Hulk when she comes on the show on Monday. She was also kind of really just, heartbroken about it because growing up she watched the WWF back in the 80s with Macho Man Randy Savage, the Ultimate Warrior, two of the other legends who have already passed in the years prior. So yeah, rest in peace Hulk Hogan. Kyle met him once in New York City, loved the experience, my man. He's not without controversy, obviously in the years since he was in the peak of his prime at wrestling. King Slater saying rest in peace Hulk, and Ozzy Osbourne, another, just it comes in threes, right? Like we had earlier in the week, it started with the passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner, and then we had of course Ozzy pass away a day ago. Was it 2 days ago now? And then Hulk Hogan. It's kind of weird. But it seems to come in threes. But yeah, like Enterprising saying, mixed feelings, right? It's you never want to wish death on anybody. Obviously, I don't think anybody here does, but it is a time where you look back, and I think, and maybe now we can just look at his legacy, and obviously it's not without the good parts and the bad parts. The good parts, you can say, like, he was, of course, back in the 80s, the face of WWF before it went mainstream. In fact, he was hired by Vince McMahon Sr. before he sold the company to Vince McMahon Jr. The Vince McMahon we all know of is actually the son of the original person who created the WWF, and then it became the WWF and then the WWE. And without Hulk Hogan, who, as you can see here, main eventing basically, like, what is it, like 8 out of the first 9 WrestleManias, and even the one that he didn't main event, he was basically in the main event because he helped Macho Man Randy Savage defeat the $1 million man Ted DiBiase for the world championship. He was the professional wrestling. He was bigger than John Cena was at the peak of his prime, bigger than The Rock was at the peak of his prime. I mean, he had the match with The Rock at WrestleMania like 20, 30 years into his career. But I mean, he also spent a lot of time with TNA wrestling. You see there in the photo. And I mean, although like that time, I don't think most people look back at that very fondly because he more so lost the money than he made them. But like Manos Time is saying, like him or hate him, he's still a WWE legend. I know that the last time he was on WWE, like Raw, he got booed because, of course, his politics is something that doesn't agree with a lot of people, and they were in LA, and I personally don't agree with his politics either. I wasn't like watching him like and celebrating when he was tearing his shirt at the Republican National Convention, but that's about as deep as in the politics I want to go. I want to focus on more of the other stuff, right? At the age of 71, you guys probably either know, or if you don't know, he had multiple back surgeries because he had gone through years of like the leg drop, and wrestling is rough on the body like football is, and so he had multiple back surgeries. He had he had sciatica and like other issues with his nerve pain and stuff, and then he recently had a back fusion surgery, and then there were complications from it, and it looks like ultimately, he died of a heart attack as being reported. It's not confirmed, but that's most likely the cause. That's what all the reporting says. But I mean, Hulk Hogan was also known for more than just wrestling. He was, a star in the movies back in the day. Like Sylvester Stallone actually was the one who inducted him into the WWE Hall of Fame back in the early 2000s because he was in Rocky 3 with him. And Sylvester Stallone still goes back and he says, you know what? Hulk Hogan knew just when to land the punches softly and like not hurt Sylvester Stallone. Like Sly obviously is, he's used to taking a punch. He could take a punch. But Hulk Hogan, being the professional that he was, like, and in wrestling, you don't actually want to hurt the other person for real. So, I mean, we all remember he was in Rocky 3. He was in a bunch of others. Search for Tomorrow in 1985. He did a bunch of other movies like Rock and Wrestling. He did animated stuff. He had his own little TV show that lasted for a little while. Love Boat. You can see these other projects. He had a role in the A-Team back in the 80s. And then, like after his original run as like the hero, like the person who basically tore it up as the face of the company, he had to reinvent himself, like he slimmed out, like got off the roids, I guess, if you want to call it that. And yeah, Elite Easy is here, man. Be a man, Hogan. The Iron Sheik. Yeah, dude, Iron Sheik also passed away. This has been a rough year. It's been a rough year. Dan, okay, Steven asking, Dan, do you remember the Hulk Hogan match where you had in WrestleMania with The Rock? Yeah, it was iconic. It was one of those, we all time, you remember it for just how excited the fans were for it, even more so than maybe the quality of the match itself, which I don't think was maybe his best match ever. But I mean, a lot of people remember him for his match with Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3, in front of at then record 93,000 fans watching in the arena, in the stadium. That was the biggest stadium show WWE had for a long time, until they in recent years started to break those records. WWE, speaking of which, did confirm the passing and the circumstances, calling him one of the pop culture's most recognizable figures. Hogan helped WWE achieve global recognition in the 1980s, and that's very true. And they extend their condolences to Hogan's family, friends, and fans. And then they posted a video series of highlights of the legendary Hulk Hogan. And down to it, they knew this would be potentially the biggest match of WWE up until that point, WWF at that time. Mr. T and Hulk Hogan, of course, teamed up at WrestleMania 1. Then he got to cameo on the A-Team. WrestleMania 1, quite frankly, changed the game, right? Like, put WWE at the very top of the pile. You look at some of the credentials that he has here on ESPN. They put together a resume saying he headlined 8 of the first 9 WrestleMania main events, including 7 wins, and even the one that he didn't headline in one of those, I think it was the one where Macho Man won. And you had the Mega Powers with the Ultimate Warriors. Oh my God, those promos were wild. He won 2 Royal Rumbles back-to-back in 1990 to 1991. He was the first of 4 now, including the latest being Cody Rhodes. Of course, Steve Austin, I think, has done it. The first person to do that was Hulk Hogan. He held the WWE title for 1,474 days, which still is the 3rd longest reign of all time. Like, it still is very much. Up until Roman Reigns, it was like the longest modern day reign, since the Bruno Sammartino days. And yeah, he got inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame not once but twice, because the second time, like Eugene said, was for the NWO, because when it came down to it in the 90s, Hulk Hogan reinvented himself. He was like, I'm going to go become the bad guy. We've been all talking about how John Cena is turned, heel or bad for, in his final run this year in the WWE. But long before everybody was like, when is John Cena, if he's ever going to turn heel? Back in the 90s, people were like, Hulk Hogan is a heel? I mean, Hollywood Hogan? I mean, this, the NWO, Eugene, you could tell he couldn't wrestle that much anymore by the time he got to Hollywood Hogan, but like the NWO days were iconic. He was still, obviously, he could talk on the microphone for days, right? Like he was just one of those names that every time he got on the microphone, was like, what you gonna do, brother? Like, each say your vitamin. Well, say your prayer, eat your vitamins and say your prayers. And so yeah, in all these moments, and then of course his intro music, the Real American, which again to these days, by the way, these are some fan tributes to Hulk Hogan. These days, his intro music is if it has been politicized, but I do remember. I feel like when they do a tribute for him this week on SmackDown or Raw next week, they'll probably hopefully play that song because it brings you back to those good old days in a manner of speaking. So yeah, and then you look at some of these other reactions. You got Coach Gibbs MED saying, "Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Going to watch WrestleMania tonight with my son. We did it every year. Today, a part of my childhood was left or has left, but memories of the Mania and Saturday night's main event will live on forever." This moment is still, you don't have to be a wrestling fan to know how iconic it is. I think it's in our news, intro, or it might have been before. Like they recreate this thing every single time that they can. Yeah, his theme song was iconic, and even to this day, it's like the Superman theme, right? It's like for wrestling, that's the equivalent in a manner of speaking. Like here we go, True OKC saying you have your goats, Hall of Famers, icons, etc. But Hulk Hogan was the center of all those words. Despite what he did, we can acknowledge that without Hogan, there was no wrestling, no WrestleMania, no Saturday night's main event. He was a pioneer in the industry. I agree with you there. To answer the question, Stephen, my favorite match of Hulk Hogan, I think, well, just for funsies, because I do love the match that he had. I think it was at SummerSlam, was it? It was Shawn Michaels, where he refused to lose. Because again, the man had an ego, right? So not a perfect human being by any means. He certainly had a lot of issues, and I think that's very well noted. And in a lot of ways, like if you don't like or were not a fan of Hulk Hogan because of the man that he was behind the scenes, that's completely appreciated. But I remember that match where Shawn Michaels decided to just no sell everything, or not no sell, he just oversold everything, like just going over the top rope, like making every little move look like the worst thing ever. But yeah, I mean, from Rowdy Piper to Mr. T to you got Muhammad Ali there, like Hulk Hogan was the center of it all. Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, now they're saying here is the oldest WrestleMania match where all participants are still alive. I mean, Liz and I were talking about that. So many of these wrestlers from back in the day are now no longer with us, and you can see the tributes kept on pouring in. People remembering going to the 86, going to see Hulk Hogan defeat King Kong Bundy in the main event. I think it was WrestleMania 2, and in 1986, his dad took him, and we Raiders FF. He got hooked as a child. I mean, a lot of people did. Like wrestling exploded back in those days, and you see again these closing moments of the main event. You see it even without the commentary. It's just the atmosphere was wild. Like they and I think I forget where the WrestleMania 3 was. I think it was in Canada, right? Or was it? No, was it the Silver Dome or the Pontiac? It was. I just remember in the city, I read up on this, that in that city they had banned, like nobody could play WrestleMania on TV. So if you were going to watch WrestleMania in the host city, you were going to go to the stadium, which is why they had like 93,000 people there. But yeah, like him or hate him, like he certainly, was a part of some of the most iconic moments that, like helped create the world that we live in today in terms of if you're a fan of wrestling. And even beyond that, because again, his name is so recognizable. Ric Flair there, Ric Flair, obviously. Yeah, that doesn't work for me, brother. The whole Shawn Michaels thing, he's like, "Well, lose now. That doesn't work for me, brother." And Shawn Michaels like, "Okay, all right, we'll see how it is." Ric Flair sending a tribute to him though. Sylvester Stallone, Sergeant Slaughter. Man, Sergeant Slaughter is like one of the last few. Like Jake the Snake, Hacksaw Jim Duggan still kicking around now. And of course, Donald Trump did too, of course. But like, I'm not really interested in this for the sake of Donald Trump or anything like that. But Hulk Hogan, the character is somebody that I will always remember. Even back in the AWA days with Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and he grew up watching, like Hulk Hogan grew up watching Dusty Rhodes before he became he even got signed by Vince McMahon Sr. Like Vince McMahon Sr. signed Hulk Hogan, and he wanted him to become this like Irish character, like with over the top. He was like go beach blonde and stuff, and then he did that, and of course then Vince McMahon comes in and says, "We're gonna do WrestleMania. I'm gonna make you the biggest star in the game," or stuff like that. So there's a lot of history there. I'm kind of like doing the short version of this, but if you guys remember your history with wrestling, then Hulk Hogan was a big part of it. But of course, the controversy kept following him, especially in the latter half of his career, whether it was from steroids to the lawsuits like he had with the Gawker case, which Matt Damon and Ben Affleck have been working on a movie for that. I don't know if that's still in development, but this is from last summer, so a year ago. Maybe it's still in the works somewhere, killing Gawker. And Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, his business partner from the WCW to the TNA to the now, like these recent times, they were in the process of launching a new wrestling league, kind of like, and make it an actual competition. It would be sort of like, and they had the NCAA and the NIL as part of it. Fox Nation had struck a deal to actually carry it on the streaming service exclusively. So all of that to say, he had a lot of things going. I don't think he was like ready to give up. Like the Real American Freestyle would have been a legit wrestling league that if you are somebody who comes out of the NCAA wrestling system and then you're done with the Olympics and you're not qualifying for that anymore, you could then go into this and actually make millions of dollars potentially, and not just have to worry about, okay, as a wrestler now I can only go to WWE or like any other wrestling companies or go to UFC. You can actually keep doing, your amateur like mat grappling wrestling. So we're still gonna, have Hulk Hogan his legacy. And again, a complicated one. He's been banned from WWE for racist comments in the past. They've reinstated him. It's take it for what it was. He's definitely, I think if I'm to kind of summarize it, Hulk Hogan was never a man without controversy, both in front of and behind the cameras. But I guess when you're somebody of his stature, like who kind of helps not set up, but like, help put the WWE in part, at least where it is today, and the wrestling business as a whole, it doesn't justify you being an a-hole a lot of the times. It absolutely does not. But you do gotta, give him credit for what he helped accomplish. And so he'll always be a part of a lot of people's top 10, top 5 lists. And a complicated man. I don't actually, believe or agree with a lot of what he, advocated for. But the Hulk Hogan character, I really did love. And of course, the man behind the character, Terry Bollea, now he's no longer with us, but I just wanted to spend some time and remember him because, growing up, it's like one of those moments, like, one of the people that you grew up and was a part of your childhood, at least on television, right? Like even before I knew who the man behind the character was, I knew who Hulk Hogan was. And a lot of people feel the same way. So, yeah. But yeah, he did kill Jesse Ventura Union plans. Again, it could have saved a lot of lives well before, nowadays WWE has a lot more protections around that stuff, but still. So not a perfect person by any means, but Hulk Hogan leaves this world at the age of 71. I think there was this one quote that I wanted to kind of quickly end this on because I thought it was kind of poetic in a way that felt kind of nice to just again address the memory of the character, even if you didn't like the person. Because I think a while ago, he famously said that if he were to go into the great beyond, he said, "Yeah, I promise each and every Hulkamaniac when I went to the great battlefield in the sky, I would bring the WWF title with me." Well, the Hulkster is now in the great battlefield in the sky, or down below, wherever you believe he might be. But poetically speaking, he hopefully brought the WWE title with him. So, with that in mind, guys, let us know if you, of course, grew up with, Hulk Hogan. I mean, we still have legends like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, a lot of the other guys from that era still around, but many of us have left, and including Hulk Hogan now no longer with us. So, I just wanted to spend some time and give him a bit of a tribute, just my memories of him, positive ones. There's obviously a lot of the negatives as well. So or down below, get in the comments, let us know what you thought about Hulk Hogan, the good, bad, and the ugly. Terry Bollea, no longer with us, passing at the age of 71 from a cardiac arrest, and he had been dealing with complications from a back fusion surgery. So with that, we're going to move on to talking about some trailers and some first reactions as well to movies that are set to come out soon. So John, if you want to step back in, let's talk about it, shall we? I know we have a couple of trailers to discuss today. I want to get your take on it first so I can go get a drink of water. But the very first thing I want to get into here is going to be Joel Edgerton and William H. Macy confronting a rapidly changing America in Train Dreams. We got a teaser trailer. Of course, the movie also stars Felicity Jones. You see her in the photo right there. And at least in the trailer, we get a lot of the voice of Carrie Condon, who's, of course, in the F1 movie right now, opposite Brad Pitt. But this movie is for a short theatrical run before it comes on to Netflix on November 21st. You saw the trailer. What did you think about it?
I thought it looked very interesting. I've never seen Sing Sing. I've heard great things about it. I might go see this if it's in a theater near me, but if it's not, obviously I can just go see it on Netflix a couple weeks later. But yeah, this looks really interesting. I don't really know. I don't really know. Like, I think it's just like about a guy. Like, it doesn't really show you a ton, but it seems like it's just like kind of like the life of this guy in this time of America. So yeah, I'm definitely curious about it.
Yeah, it definitely gave me like these. I don't know. Like, I was like, are they going for like a Forrest Gump situation, but in a more like art house manner? Because it definitely feels like one of those things. I mean, this trailer also relies heavily on just like the critics' reception of the movie. So, but I mean, you see Felicity Jones in there. You hear the voice of Carrie Condon. I wonder how much of a role she has on camera. I'm sure she'll be on camera for her part of it. But the cinematography, for example, is on point. You know, I think that's what's the best part of it for me. Yeah, never heard of this one. I mean, it's not a very well-known movie, but Joel Edgerton supposedly giving the best performance of his career. So I wonder if that's going to translate into some Oscar consideration. It's coming out in that time of the year in November, so that's going to be something to look forward to. If you guys are a fan of movies that do well, and you know, and certainly, you know, movies that are Oscar contenders, and I don't know, at least they're pitching it as that. So hopefully it will be that. Now, with that said, though, John, we've got another trailer that I think you are probably a lot more excited to talk about, and we got Mario Faith Warrior in the chat. Hello, Mario. And a lot of thank you for a movie that's not very well known. But this movie, though, John, on the other hand, the Predator Badlands coming out soon.
Yes,
the new trailer really feels like. Honestly, I saw this trailer and I was like, this feels like more of an Alien Predator movie than anything else. Is it secretly just an AVP movie at this point? Like, you saw the trailer. Like, what did you think about it? Like, because then again, also like is Dakota Fanning, right? Or is it Elle Fanning? Elle Fanning. I never seen anything like this from her. So I'm like, this is completely like off type for her too. So what did you think about this trailer?
I thought it was a really interesting trailer. It definitely gives us more than what we've seen before. Now having it be the official trailer rather than teasers. And I'm like, it seems like it's like giving us the overall, like a little bit more of what the story is about, but it still doesn't give us a lot, which is a good thing. That's a good thing. Because I feel like all we're getting is like this guy, this predator, quote unquote, is, you know, he's received lots of chances to get his first hunt. Can't get there, so now what he's doing, he's like, okay, I got one more chance to prove myself. I gotta go to the most dangerous planet in the solar system, in the universe, to track down the most notorious monster and fucking kill it. And honestly, that's awesome. And clearly Weyland-Yutani was there. That's the alien connection. Weyland-Yutani was the corporation that the workers in Alien worked for. And so it seems like that there's like, maybe there was like a colony here and they got killed, but they had an android there who's Elle Fanning. I like how they're kind of going for, like, somebody said, so the character, it shows in the trailer, this character played by Elle Fanning has no legs for at least the majority of it. So also, this image is going to be memed to hell by Gooners. Just want to say that right now. But it's funny because he has her like strapped on his back, and somebody in the comments was like, "Man, this is like the craziest remake of Banjo-Kazooie I've ever seen." So you know, I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, this looks like fun. This looks awesome. Awesome action pack. The fucking effects in regards to Elle Fanning, not having legs is really good. And I really like the Predator here, and it just seems like Dan Trachtenberg has another win on his hands with this trilogy of Predator movies. You got Prey, you got Killers, and you have Predator Badlands. I'm excited what else he has in store. I would want to see him direct other things outside of this weird like kind of trilogy he has, which is so different from one another. But I would love to see, like him going to either other franchises or doing more original movies, because I feel like he has a lot of talent as a filmmaker. But he just, I would see him like, maybe he could be like the producer of these movies, like kind of oversee the franchise, kind of like in a James Gunn DC kind of role. So that would be awesome. I think, but yeah, I think the effects look good. I think the story looks engaging. It looks different. It just feels like the Predator franchise knows what it's doing, while the Alien franchise just clearly fucking doesn't. Because say what you will about the Predator franchise, it's always been like trying to do like new things. Like the first Predator, you had the masculine dudes like in the jungle fighting this guy, and then what's the next movie? Similar thing, but boom, you put him in a fucking urban environment. All right, crazy, but let's go. And then you have the AVP movies, and then for the next Predator movie, you have us going to them, and with Predators, and again, regardless of quality, it's whatever. And then Prey, boom, you have it go back to what it was like. You have it go back in time. And then Killer of Killers, same vibe, but it's an animated movie and it's an anthology movie, and there's a lot of twists, turns, and what happens at the end is like kind of new for that. And now this movie, the main protagonist is a Predator. Like that's like, it feels like Predator just constantly knows what to do. Well, it seems like after Alien 3, Alien just it doesn't know what to do. Like you have Alien Resurrection, which sucked. You have the AVP movies, and then you had like Prometheus, which like was like an alien movie, but like not an alien movie. And then Ridley Scott backpedaled, and then he tried to do something with Alien Covenant, and it didn't work. And then Alien Romulus was just a fucking like nostalgia bait wank fest. And so it's just like, I feel like the Predator franchise, you can get like almost something different and something of quality with every entry, rather than the Alien franchise. Well, everyone is just like, oh yeah, the Alien movies, just go watch the first 2 Alien movies and then that's it, and then everything else sucks. So meanwhile, it's like, oh, Predator was great, but Predator 2 is arguably even better. Predators offered something interesting. Prey was really like, I feel like it's just like Predator is just more of an illustrious, like more variety filled franchise than, I'm not saying like Alien's bad. Like Alien, I love the first 3 Alien movies, but it feels like after that they just kind of, they haven't reached that high ever since, of at least, well, I know I'm the outlier in terms of Alien 3, but at least the first 2 Alien movies, kind of like Terminator a little bit.
I mean, look, I will just say this trailer, I watched it twice because I was like, wow, this looks really cool. I haven't caught up with all the movies from the Predator franchise, and it's not a franchise that I've always been a huge fan of, but I think the fact that there's really not that many like high expectations for them to do anything great, even though Prey was great, like you said, and they've done a couple of really good things in recent times. I just think by and large, the lack of expectation, and they're letting them play in this smaller, sandbox with just saying, just do what you got to do, and whether it be good or great or ugly or whatever. I think that's allowing them to like experiment. And like you said, John, maybe, the Alien franchise could use a little bit of that, where I feel like they played a lot more safer with the Alien, which maybe the Ridley Scott has an influence on that. Maybe it's something else, but I mean, like a lot of people did like Romulus though. So I suppose for many of folks that did love that movie, that franchise also going in a better direction. But we'll see how much this new Predator Badlands is a bit of an AVP crossover. Are we actually going to get a xenomorph in the movie? They don't give it away, and I hope they never do until the movie comes out. But this trailer, I think for me, was like a good 4 out of 5. It was a solid trailer. I don't know if you enjoyed it as much as I did, John, but what would you give it a rating out of 5?
5 out of 5. Look, I'm super excited.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think 4 out of 5 for me because I'm not as big of a franchise fan, but it's convincing me. And yeah, we'll see how good it is when it comes out. But so far, holy cow, this was really good. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. But you know what, John? What might also be fun is the new movie that we've been talking about now for I think a little while. We've talked about it on multiple shows. Weapons is finally set to come out, and the early reactions came out. Now I think this has been a day now since these came out, and we didn't really get a chance to cover them yesterday. But they did talk about Zach Krieger. He's also working on the new Resident Evil reboot. He's behind the Weapons movie, and this movie is now being given some not over the top, maybe that's not the right word, but just glowing reactions, calling it an instant classic horror movie. It's drawing comparisons to Denis News movies, to The Shining, like it's a masterpiece.
I do get kind of a Prisoner's vibe from this a little bit. So yeah.
What do you? I'm just going to quickly read off a few reactions here. Perry Nemiroff from Collider saying, "Weapons rules. If you're looking for a movie that keeps you on your toes from start to finish and delivers the unexpected time and time again, this is it." Then you have, Film Speaks Griff Schiller saying, "Zach Krieger has crafted a master horror masterpiece and the best film of the year with Weapons. It's Prisoners by the Way of Magnolia. It's some of Cohen's absurdist humor, an absolutely brilliant commentary on the attitudes and institutions during the fallout of a communal tragedy." Someone else also tweeted saying, "Weapons is dark and unsettling in every way. You thought those tunnel scenes from Barbarian were intense. This whole damn film felt that way for me, a constant uneasiness that goes faint to heart pounding." So, John, they're comparing it to The Shining, The Exorcist, Psycho. Is it going to live up to the hype? Because, I mean, I personally love thrillers. As long as they don't go too much into the horror aspect, I think this movie has a little bit of both. Does this make you, a lot more excited for the movie, seeing these reactions? Just Zach Krieger seems to be on a winning streak here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm pumped for it. A lot of the behind the scenes stuff and reactions definitely have me really excited. I think it's a really great premise. The trailers have not revealed fucking anything. It's just like an onslaught of terror, and I can't wait for it. And I think I can maybe see why it wasn't released in September or October, because there's nothing coming out in August. The only thing you would have to deal with is residuals from Fantastic Four. What is even coming out in August? It feels like nothing is coming out, and I have a strong feeling that it's gonna probably own
Naked Gun is coming out.
And I'm talking about really, really, really big movies. I'm talking big blockbusters.
Well, I mean, you got
Naked Gun, I guess, is pretty big, but that's
Freakiest Friday is coming out. That's going to make money. Nobody 2, which is not going to make as much money, but yeah. To your point, I mean, I don't see many standouts like franchise movies. So, yeah, good point. But anyway,
I have a strong feeling that this. I mean, when Jordan Peele was pissed that he didn't get the rights to this, that was interesting.
He was really pissed.
In terms of Jordan Peele movies, I'm excited for his produce. Him movie, which looks really, really good. I think that's coming out in September. But that looks really good, and this looks just it's so unique. He's because I remember when the fucking poster was first dropped, and the whole tagline was the monologue in the first trailer where it's it was just a normal Wednesday. Her entire classroom was gone. It turns out every kid walked downstairs, left the house at 2:17 in the morning, and left and never came back. That was on the poster. Yep. And then I saw so many comments that were like, "You just revealed the entire fucking movie in the fucking poster, bro. I'm not gonna see this." But it's just the fact that they reveal all of that on the poster, and even at the end of the trailer, it says, "Yeah, and that's where the story starts, is when all of these fucking kids just leave And it's called weapons. Weapons of what? What are the weapons? Are the kids the weapons? Are the weapons used on the kids? Are adults the weapons? Like, what is it? And it's just like the insanity of the trailer, just in the second half, is just fucking just whoa. So it's like clearly shit is going down. And Zach Krieger's use of like twists. I mean, clearly Barbarian, that like total left turn twist in the middle of the movie. It's clear that it's like he's like, okay, fine. People didn't like my twist in Barbarian. Well, now I'm gonna give you more fucking twists. So
exactly, and you know what? I don't think they've given anything away, right? Like you want to get people intrigued with what the mystery is. You don't want to tell them what it is, what happens in the movie, but you want to tell them. I mean, they didn't tell us like what ultimately happens in the movie, right? And yeah, this picture, like this shot right here, is one of the creepiest things. And they put this up front and center. I think they did a huge presentation at CinemaCon that convinced a lot of folks. And to your point, Steven, the same weekend Weapons comes out is the same weekend as Freakier Friday. So Freakier Friday will make more money, but Weapons might be the better movie. And yeah, horror movies are winning right now because, I mean, they're not a guarantee, but like Sinners, you know, for example, and 28 years later doing really well, especially Sinners did really, really well. So, and it's not just jump scares. They're like good stories. Naked Gun and Bad Guys 2 are the other two big movies in August, but there's not many. So that's a good point that they could have moved the date around a little bit, but I'm okay with where it is. It's counter-programming Freakier Friday. A lot of people going into one will not want to go see the other, so it's not like, I mean, Liz will probably see both, but like, there's not many people like Liz and us who are going to go see both. So, but yeah, I mean, we also, Angelica, would like to see, and by the way, hello, Angelica, in the chat. We would love to see if Zach Krieger could come over in the DCU. Maybe if James Mangold does not want to do Swamp Thing, I would like to see Zach Krieger take a swing at Swamp Thing. That would be great. And I'm sure there's a million other characters he can pick up. But yeah, I mean, James Gunn, I'm sure if you mention him the name, it's also a matter of if he's going to be interested or not. But yeah, WB is the winner, and they keep winning. I mean, if this movie does well, then that's like continuing the winning streak. That even Superman, which was distributed by Warner Brothers, but obviously the DC Studios movie, and with Sinners and everything else, like Final Destination, like they're clearly, and F1 that the distributor for Apple, Warner Brothers is doing great. And Freakier Friday, we do hope, is also a good movie. So, looking forward to both. Looking forward to both of them. But guys, let us know in the chat what you think about the reactions to, of course, Weapons being just mind-bogglingly good. I mean, people are calling it maybe it might be even better than Sinners. If the twist is good, that's the ultimate thing for any kind of thriller. The twist has to be good. And dude, Warner Brothers has invested in horror in the past, enterprising. Like New Line Cinema is where like James Wan, applied his craft for the Conjuring franchise before it went to shit. Walter Hamada was brought into DC Films primarily because of how good he did with low budgets over at New Line with all the horror fare that they've had. So, and if you guys remember, the Blade movies were made by New Line Cinema, which is a sister studio to Warner Brothers Pictures. So Warner Brothers should, I think it's one of the genres where if you do it right, it has a lot of potential. And it's cheaper movies that, don't have as high of a threshold for breaking even. So it could really work in their favor. So yes, I do think Warner Brothers should do that. Obviously, there's different subgenres of horror. Not everybody wants to see goriness and stuff like a good thriller like Weapons, like a Gone Girl, like those could also be considered horror movies, depending on the content of the film. So yeah, to answer your question, yes. And hopefully Weapons is one of those movies. But John, with that, I think we have come to the end of the big news stories, but we still have a bunch of quick hits to get into. So I know Ron came in hot earlier saying, where is that quick hits music? Let's get into the quick hits right now. So I'm going to hit that Bossa Nova elevator music, John, and if you can bring in the quick
Hold on, I can't understand you. You sound like you're underwater.
Am I?
What did you say?
Is it me? I'm just saying, like, I'm okay. I don't know if it's my audio, but all I'm saying is, okay. Can you hear me? Am I better?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. All right. It just happens with StreamYard, man. This is a weird situation. Yeah, quickies to the rescue.
Got it.
Thank you. Before we do though, what do you think is the sleeper hit of the summer, John? What would you say would
sleeper hit? Yeah. I haven't really seen a lot of movies this summer, though. I've seen all the popular stuff. Like,
look, I think Nobody 2, which also comes out in August, or
could be. Okay, I thought you meant what has happened already.
it could be either the Naked Gun or, for me, Nobody 2. But Nobody 2 people are not sleeping on as much, given Nobody, the first one. But yeah, maybe the Naked Gun might be a sleeper hit. So Tron Ares for Enterprising, Angelica calling for Superman and F1. F1 also could potentially a sleeper hit. It just depends on how you define it. So yeah, exactly, MTG. Clayface is an example of Warner Brothers and DC going heavy on horror, cheap horror also, because that's how you got to do it. It doesn't need to make like $1 billion to be successful. So yeah, Nobody 2. Okay, let's get into the quickets. All right, so the very first quicket that we have got here, John. Oh, is that the right one? Okay.
Yep, got it. We're good.
So Comic-Con, of course, the studios and streamers spreading the marketing wealth, and Gaslamp District, of course, in San Diego, where it's set to kick off literally today. Today was the first day. So, John, if you scroll down a bit, you got marketing for Fantastic Four, for The Walking Dead, for all the Alien Earth that's coming out soon.
Naked Gun.
Spread 'em nerds. What was your favorite one here? Even Thunderbolts, like Marvel having a good big presence. The Rookie.
I don't know. I like the Naked Gun. How it's also a reference to like Airplane. That's pretty good. Not gonna lie.
I thought the Naked Gun was the standout for me. I mean, although it's good that Fantastic Four and even DC, Peacemaker, making his presence known. So this was fun. This is good to look. I mean, if you were excited for Comic-Con, everywhere they got stuff plastered. The Walking Dead franchise, Dead City just got renewed for another season. The whole Walking Dead universe is going to have a big presence.
How many fucking shows are there?
It's a big TV year. It's a big TV year. A lot of movie studios are not showing up, but
for Walking Dead, there was like 5.
Oh, yeah. They have a whole streaming service. Haven't you got AMC Plus or whatever it's called? It's built on the Walking Dead universe. Anyway, let's keep on going. We got another. As far as
look. Anyway, we're speeding through. There we go.
It's endless. It's endless. We're not gonna be able to get through all of it. But dude, we have the official TV panel schedule now, from Percy Jackson to Outlander. They got Star Trek and everything else in between. So, yeah, Superman. Yes, I think Enterprising Superman will turn a profit. But John, did you have any TV panels that stuck out to you from the list of these infinite panels? Like, for example, on Thursday alone, you got Avatar: The Last Airbender and Percy Jackson, and as well as like South Park and others.
I mean, South Park is kind of exciting. I don't really care about anything past like the original Avatar. I don't really. I know we're gonna be getting into that later, but
and Percy Jackson
really care. I heard the season 1 sucked, so I didn't watch Percy Jackson.
Wasn't that bad? Better than the movies.
Yeah, Twisted Metal.
Metal. I'm surprised that show's coming back. The Strangers Chapter 2.
The thing is with Twisted Metal, I didn't even know the first season fucking dropped.
It's 2 years old, I think. It's Anthony Mackie is in it, right? So yeah, Enterprise.
I'm excited about Toxic Avenger, and I saw the trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It looks like a movie. I think the only reason I'd watch that is because of like Matthew Lillard, but outside of that, I don't really care.
I mean, and tomorrow we got Alien Earth and of course Lilo and Stitch, more stuff from their Resident Alien season 4. I know you're a fan of that show. Phineas and Ferb, of course. Alien Earth, I think, is the one that I'm most excited about.
Long Walk, what else? Definitely very
exciting. Long Walk, dude. That Mark Hamill is on the tear these days. Lilo and Stitch, I mean, we know there's a second movie coming. King of the Hill, Predator, Badlands. We just talked about Dexter, Resurrection, Tron Ares is going to have a panel. And then Saturday, you got Star Trek and Abbott Elementary, Simpsons. Star Trek is, for me, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Bob's Burgers and, Coyote versus Acme. The movie Acme doesn't want you to see. And by Acme, we mean Warner Brothers. Because fuck you, Warner Brothers.
Dude, Abbott Elementary is there because it's a popular show. I mean, it's an Emmy-nominated show. Yeah, it's not really something you would traditionally associate with Comic-Cons, but yeah. Star Trek Universe,
nothing is anymore.
By the way, Star Trek, they're doing a Hall H panel. I wonder if they're going to announce any more new shows for Star Trek. And then Paradise Season 2, they have a panel. I'm excited about that. One of the 2 panels that I think, Monique, you mentioned earlier, one of 2 panels from Amazon, we know is for Project Hail Mary. And I wonder, like you were saying before, if the second panel might be about James Bond. So, but Peacemaker, John, speaking of DC, we're going to talk about it a little bit later in DCU Daily, but Peacemaker Season 2, we're going to have the whole cast of the show, including, and of course, James Gunn as well, in Hall H, 3:30 p.m. local time.
Did we just get, his fucking name? Tim, like we haven't
Langston
had a name
Flory.
for Tim Meadows' character,
We know now.
and it's Langston Flory.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. I mean, we know who he's playing, but I mean, dude, I'm excited because I know he's gonna also do a Q&A for everything else DC. So I'm wondering if James Gunn will give us any more idea. You know, I have an idea of what else might be coming from the world of the new DCU. Of course, we have the Welcome to Derry show that Andy Muschietti has been busy with. So they have a panel on Saturday, and then you get to Sunday. You got George Lucas, dude. George Lucas in the house. That's exciting, isn't it? Like holy cow, man! That's fun.
He looks. This is like the first time he smiled in like 30 years.
Yeah, he's giving us a sneak peek as it had his new museum of movie art. What was it? If you go up again, it's the Museum of Narrative Art. Remember we talked about the architecture looks wild. It's in LA. They're currently building it, but yeah. Shit fucks down the street. The 11th Street Gang, that's what it is. And it's going to build positive momentum for Superman. Peacemaker is a direct follow-up to the events of Superman. So, Ron is back. Hello, Ron. We're talking about the Comic-Con. If you are interested, let us know what your favorite panel might be. But is that it, John? I mean, there's a few other things. Hall H specifically, you've got the long
now they're
walk,
getting into
Star
like
Trek.
very much specifics
details.
Yeah.
The bad guys too. Many more. So this is in deadline. You guys can go and check this out. You can also go to SDCC's website, San Diego Comic-Con, and find out for yourself the schedule. If you are attending, let us know what you're looking forward to the most and what you enjoy the most. Like, get in the comments, let us know what your favorite part of this year's Comic-Con is. Where we're not getting a lot of Marvel and DC in Hall H. We do have Peacemaker though. Peacemaker season 2 will be fun on Saturdays. So we'll talk about that on Monday's show. But anyway, John, let's keep on going with quick hits.
Yep.
Okay, Mezco action figure panel. Yes, that's a good pick, Ron. That's a good one. So speaking of Comic-Con, John, Percy Jackson is one of the shows we already have news from it. Season 2 has been given a release date, and they've added some popular characters. The children of Hades are showing up in season 3.
Nico,
so we know there's
and
plans.
I forget the other one, but yeah.
Yeah, Levi Chrysopoulos and Olive Abercrombie joining in as the children of Hades. If you're a fan of the show, then there you go.
Nico D'Angelo and Bianca. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Cool.
That's them.
All right. Moving on to the next thing. So I have to catch up on Percy Jackson, but I saw this come across at comicbookmovie.com. It looks like Margaret Qualley is finally, or Qualley? Is it Qualley? Margaret Qualley? Is that how you say her name?
I thought it was Qualley, but it could be Qualley. I don't know.
Yeah. Of course, she was, and why am I forgetting the name of the movie that you see the photo from? What's the Demi Moore? Substance. It's right there in this article. I'm losing my voice. The Substance actor Margaret Qualley addressed the rumors that people have want to fan cast her as Rogue, and she said, "Oh, I don't think I want to commit to a franchise. It seems like a lot of time, and I'm scared." Then he laughed. She laughed about it, saying that if she was presented with the Rogue rumors, she was like, "Oh shit, okay." So she's kind of surprised that she was even being considered. I mean, I don't know if she is. Sometimes that means that she's behind the scenes. She's actually like in the process of signing a contract, and she's just denying the rumors. Do you believe that she's actually not gonna be any part of the new X-Men universe?
I kind of agree with Geeky Guy here because it's like, oh, she played a Southern character in 2 movies. Make her the fucking X-Men with the Southern accent. It's like, okay, I get it, but it's just like that's kind of how surface level fan casting could be. You're not looking at the all encompassing personality, but you're just looking at oh, she was in fucking, what was that shit, the Drive-Away Dolls. Oh, she played a Southern chick. Make her Rogue.
That was a good movie. Was it Pedro Pascal had a cameo in it?
Not really, but
anyway,
but it's just a very surface level idea. She can do a Southern accent, so make her Rogue. It's it's fine. It's okay, but it's just I can't see it. I can't see it either. I think there are other better actresses who would fit that role. I'm not saying Qualley is a bad actress. It's just I think there are other better,
Thank you, Ron. Just some geeky guy coming in with the Jesse Eisenberg Lex Luthor reference. Okay. Yeah, well, you know what? It doesn't seem like she's even interested. She didn't want to get tied down by a franchise, so it may not even happen. Let's keep on going. Great actress, though. I mean, she's coming up in the role. Andy McDowell's daughter, like Monique said. Stephen King's Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon is the latest of a million Stephen King things that are getting adapted into movies and TV shows, John, because this book is another one that's going to be turned into a movie with J.T. Molnar over at Lionsgate. Are you excited? Have you read this one? Are you excited about potentially Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon?
The only book, so I've started a lot of Stephen King books. I haven't finished them. Like I have The Long Walk like on my night table, but like I can't like it's just like I can't just sit down and read it. Just I'm just not very good at like reading nowadays. But I have not read this. And the thing is, I will be excited or hating this depending on The Long Walk. Like if The Long Walk is really, really good, then I'm excited for this. But if it's really, really bad, I won't be excited for this because JT Molnar, I want to give him a chance, but the only thing I've seen from Strange Darling, which I found to be incredibly overrated. Like it's a good movie, but everyone acted like it was the second fucking coming of Christ. And I'm like, okay, cool, let me watch this. And then it turned out to be like mid. It was fine. Like, it was okay. But it's not like, you know, this greatest achievement in cinematic filmmaking. Like, so many claimed it to be. And it's like, all right, bro, calm down. It depends on how The Long Walk is. It depends how that is.
Yeah. Hey, Angelica is excited. She actually read the book last year, so she loves the idea that they're adapting it. That's okay, amazing, man. So Angelica, you'd love to hear from you if like what this is. We're not that familiar with the story of this, but obviously, John, you mentioned Lionsgate putting out The Long Walk, another Stephen King adaptation. So they're in the business of Stephen King these days. So let's keep on going here, though. All right. Moving on to the next thing. We got a few more casting, greenlit, dated episodes, or stories, I should say. Bob Odenkirk's action pick. I mean, this dude's becoming an action star in like the latter half of his career. It's not like Keanu Reeves, who did action, then did not do action, then went back and became John Wick. Bob Odenkirk, the man who's had a pretty big heart attack in recent years, not only is in Nobody 2, but he's also got this another movie, which seems like sort of in the same vein, Normal, and then Brian Fuller's Dust Bunny. They're both are going to be part of the Toronto Film Festival lineup, which is coming up, John. How excited are you to see Bob Odenkirk, the action star?
It definitely seems interesting, and I'm really curious about this.
Me too. I'm genuinely like I did not expect that Bob Odenkirk would be doing action films all of a sudden, like in this part of his career. But anyway, you know what, Mr. Showback, that's fair. But it's for most people, like they're not gonna remember that. So, but hey, he pulls it off. So Toronto, if you're gonna be there, then you can see this movie in competition. All right, let's keep on going. So Air Bud returns, John. The 15th film in the franchise. The dog who knows how to play basketball, from Cineverse and Air Bud Entertainment.
And the dog who knows how to play fucking football, volleyball, baseball, has had a trillion kids that did a trillion spin-offs. It's like he can do it all.
Yeah. 15th film in the franchise coming out in 2026, John. This is going to be a theatrical release. I don't remember the last Air Bud movie that was actually in theaters, to be honest. But
probably like the second one. If like usually they do like one or two in theaters and then it immediately goes to streaming.
And then it just goes like Disney. I think it was on Disney Channel for years. I remember they're just pumping them out.
Yeah,
so.
I vaguely remember watching the volleyball one. I don't know. And like maybe the soccer one.
Technically there's 13 sequels, and this would be the 14th. Because it's the 15th film of the franchise, and it's not a reboot. It's just they're not even connected, are they? Like it's just adventures of Air Bud, and he's back. Air Bud returns, which Anyway, so cool.
So
all right, let's move on.
Yeah, so it's Air Bud, Golden Receiver, World Pup, 7th Inning Fetch, Spike's back, and then the next one is going to be Air Bud Returns, and then the rest of them are Air Buddies, and then the Search for Santa Paws. It's just insane. Anyway.
It's crazy. Well, we live in the world of IP, and Apollo 13, speaking of IP, I mean, it's not really an IP, but it's based on the real story of Apollo 13. The famous, Tom Hanks movie, got Kevin Bacon in there. I'm forgetting the actor on the left. He's passed away. We did who's in the far left, John? Why am I forgetting? Scroll down a little bit. They got the names of the actors.
It's Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. There we go. Sorry, brain fart. Bill Paxton, Kevin Bacon, and Tom Hanks. Apollo 13, of course. Yeah, but they played Jim Lowell, Jack Swigert, and Fred Hayes in the movie, respectively. And Universal Pictures is celebrating the 30th anniversary of Apollo 13 by re-releasing the movie in IMAX. If you go up a second here, this comes out on September 25th, John, playing exclusively in IMAX from September 19th to the 25th. Are you going to go check it out on a big screen? Because I don't even know if IMAX was really a thing back when Apollo 13 first came out. Was it? Like, it wasn't, certainly not like what it is today. So are you excited about that? Like 30 years, man. It's Tom Hanks. That was him 30 years ago. We just had Kevin Bacon like reviewing Superman yesterday on the show. That's Kevin Bacon 30 years ago. Bill Paxton, rest in peace. He's not even with us anymore. But dang.
Yeah. I would try to see this because Apollo 13 is pretty fucking great. So.
Yeah. Yep. All right, well, let's keep on going. Elite Easy's not excited about another Air Bud movie, but yeah, Apollo 13 is an all-time Ron Howard classic. But anyway, speaking of classics, do you think rebooting the classic Attack of the 50-Foot Women with Margot Robbie in the lead, with Tim Burton making the film, is going to be the next Barbie? Or is it going to be the next Beetlejuice, which was decent, but certainly no Barbie? What do you think we're going to get here? Margot Robbie, Tim Burton, Attack of the 50-Foot Women remake.
I think we're going to get a lot of people that are going to be really into this for all the wrong reasons. I was initially excited about this because Tim Burton, I'm not a huge Tim Burton fan, but I feel like this usually isn't his wheelhouse. So I'm like, okay, I'm curious about this. And it's apparently, I don't know if this is still correct, but apparently Gillian Flynn was writing it. So I'm like, all right, awesome. And then they're like, oh, Margot Robbie starring. Great.
You know what it is?
I'll watch this when it hits streaming. I'm not going to go to the theaters. I'm so fucking sick of Margot. I'm so done with her. And I don't think she's a very good actress. And it's just like everyone's fucking sucking her dick. And I'm just like, I'm just done with her at this point. And I just don't really care. So because the thing is, I watched the original Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, and it sucks. It's a terrible movie. So like, I'm curious about I'll blaspheme this cunt however fucking way I please. Okay. All right, Margot Robbie can't fucking act, and there I fucking say, all right,
okay.
Boom.
I mean, it's okay. Look, she's one of the biggest stars.
Because the original's not very good. It could warrant a good remake, so I'll catch it on streaming. But I'm not going to go to the theater to see this.
I was just going to say, you know what they did? Like, they watched the opening sequence of Barbie, like when she, like the whole 2001 Space Odyssey, and they said Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, like remake, and that's what Tim Burton said. Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing when John said that. But yeah, he's not a fan of Margot Robbie. But anyway. Hosea is in the chat. He went to see Fantastic Four. It looks like the new baby is doing well, Hosea. It must be because like you're able to step away and go see the movie. That's great though. M2G saying it's a great way to get away from the kids.
Fine, licking her pussy. Jesus Christ, I get it. It's a fucking metaphor. Y'all can fucking calm down. At the end of the day, Margot Robbie sucks, and I'm sick of everyone kissing her ass. Like, God fucking damn it. Her non-existent ass. There. Fuck. Jesus Christ. I am. You know what? I got the bald thing going on. 1A, 1A, 1A. I hope somebody fucking 1A's Margot Robbie. Fuck you, okay? Fucking... All right, we know the person who has a fucking Futanari fetish over here. Jesus Christ. All right. Fucking, I'm just... Damn, like, I'm so sick of this shit. God fucking damn it.
Okay, Angelica, we don't know a ton about the story of the new film, but it is a remake, so I have a feeling that they're going to probably follow the first one pretty closely. Either that or they're going to do kind of what they did with Barbie, which is go in a completely new direction. But we'll see. I mean, it's
I hope they go in a new direction in this movie, because the original, it's like most of the movie is like a relationship drama, and then the last like 10 minutes is when she actually becomes 50 feet. So hopefully like Tim Burton can give us a little bit more zhuzh here. Maybe Tim Burton can warrant a good performance from her. We'll see. So, you know.
Oh. Have you seen I, Tonya?
We'll see.
Just some geeky guys saying that's, I mean,
No,
she was nominated. She was nominated for an Oscar for that. So, I mean, that's one we should probably, maybe that will change your mind. There you go.
I have no interest, but sure.
Let's keep on going. I mean, look, I'm a fan of Margot Robbie personally, but yeah, there we go. I love Barbie. She's not the best actress.
Going to good actors who are actually attractive. There we go, Pedro Daddy. Here we go.
Pedro Pascal revealed some of his celebrity crushes, man, including Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer. He actually listed out a few other names here, including Olivia Newton-John. Of course, Michelle Pfeiffer's turn as Catwoman in Batman Returns. He said, look, like many of us, how could you not fall in love with Harrison Ford? But it was Indiana Jones was his favorite, but also between Indiana Jones and Star Wars, like he's like, yeah, I mean, and fair enough. There's a lot of people out there who loved and still do. I mean, Harrison Ford's one of the biggest movie stars of all time. Angelica, that's a good point. You know what? That would be nice, but I don't know if that's where they're gonna go with Attack on Titan. But we'll see. It was more of a rumor right now not rumor, but it's not confirmed if that movie's actually greenlit or not. The Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. John, what about you? What were your celebrity crushes growing up? What was it Michelle Pfeiffer?
I'm not. You can't get that. Oh, hold on. I got something on my. Can't hang on. Wipe that off. I'm not revealing that to the world. Are you kidding me? No fucking way. You can't get that. You can't torture that out of me. No, I'm not doing that, especially on here with all the fucking shit I've talked about. Hell nah. I'm not getting judged for that.
Okay, all right, we'll keep the ball rolling. Speaking of Pedro Pascal, of course, he is Mr. Fantastic, and I just saw this video and thought it was really cute because, quite frankly, I mean, Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby. Of course, Vanessa Kirby is pregnant. Like, she's showing, like, at the blue carpet, you could tell she's getting closer and closer to the delivery day, even in some of the promotional clips. But we talked about it just yesterday on the press tour, John. Like, it's his anxiety. Like, Pedro Pascal is not very good in being in front of the media.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I will say I find it interesting that everyone calls Pedro Pascal the creep, yet she's the one who seems to be doing it. Like, she's the one that's going out of her way to touch him. So I'm like, maybe the real creep is Vanessa Kirby. Who knows? We'll see. Because I know it's just like that's a thing now. Like, everyone's calling Pedro a creep. So, you know.
No, are they? I don't know. Pedro's,
people are being dickheads. They're just calling him a creep because, you know, until it's like revealed that he did like fucking, you know, something. I'm just gonna say, the man has anxiety. He just, you know, has a tick.
It's like Joe. I mean, I'm glad because he's got a way to like. I mean, and clearly Vanessa Kirby knows that and tries to like make him feel at ease because we know Jonah Hill doesn't do publicity for his movies anymore because he's got crippling anxiety. So just because they're actors doesn't mean, you know, that they like to be in
Harley Quinn is definitely one of the reasons that launched my dislike of Margot Robbie. Just like, and then just everyone was just, you know, just like, oh my god, Margot Robbie. It's just like the onslaught of like Margot Robbie love is just like so unwarranted. Like, she's so mid. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, she's not the best actor in the world, but she is one of the bigger stars in Hollywood right now.
Yeah,
Monique's
that's the important part.
Monique's celebrity crushes growing up were Linda Carter on Wonder Woman and Jason Bateman on Silver Spoons. There you go. Those are two really good picks. I bet a lot of other people will agree with you on those. What did Enterprising say? I think Enterprising that Pedro could play Tom Selleck. Yeah. Americans typically act like
nobody could play Tom Selleck.
I think there's on that Elite Easy. There's nuance to that, but I hear you. I mean, look, that's the internet. I just thought this was kind of cute that somebody put the compilation together. I don't like the insinuation that there's something going on between Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby. Clearly not.
I mean, here's the thing. The same thing happened. Here's whenever it comes to a male and a female co-star, they always like the fucking same shit happened with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney. Mm-hmm. The same thing happened with David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan. Even we made jokes about it, but it's just like there's the idea where two main co-stars who are a couple who are not a couple in real life. It's just, you know, it's just people will think that because they love drama and love to do all that. So,
yeah,
you know, I just think it's,
you know,
the whole thing. And
by the way, the best fan casting of the day is Henry Cavill potentially playing Magnum PI with that mustache that he had in Mission Impossible. You just give him the hair. He could be the new Tom Selleck. That would be great.
Give him the hair from Man of Steel, that poofy haircut, and then the mustache from Mission Impossible. Then boom, there we go.
Magnum PI. Anyway, let's keep on going. Enterprising says it's a bit uncomfortable. Oh, well, you know.
Anyway,
as long as they're okay with it, they're adults.
As long as it's consensual, it's all fine and dandy.
And as long as their partners are okay with it, whoever I don't know who their partners are, but anyway, Ghostface voice actor Roger L. Jackson, John, is set to narrate a new audiobook about the Scream franchise. Are you looking forward to listening to that audiobook when it comes out in August 19th?
I don't know. Probably not. I'm not really a huge Scream fan, so I mean, to all the fans that would love to listen to this, then by all means, I just have no interest.
By the way, just some geeky guy thinks that he is the doppelganger to Pedro. Is he Pedro number 5?
I know what he looks like. It's fucking not. He wishes he looked like Pedro Pascal. That's like saying, "Oh yeah, I look like J.K. Simmons because I'm bald."
Okay.
I wish I looked like J.K. Simmons.
And a lot of people do. He looks swole in his old days.
Oh my god, bro is fucking ripped upon ripped.
It's incredible. Hosea, the childhood crush with Selma Hayek. There we go. A lot of people's childhood crush were Selma Hayek. Maybe even John, that he's not revealing. Anyway, John, let's move on to the next quick hit before we go too far down that rabbit hole.
Answer from dusk till dawn. Hell no. Fuck that shit. I'm scarred for life now. Anyway.
Hey, we got some more behind the scenes photos, John, from Superman. This, I think, is from the Christopher McDonald's account that they're quoting here. So if you click into them, you can see that, I mean, this is not even the real Superman. I think they have stand-in, one of the stunt guys, right? Or is that David Cornsweet?
No, that is David Cornsweet. Is that him? He has like the eyes and everything.
The eye makeup, man. I'm telling you, David Cornsweet is a shapeshifter, man. That guy just blends in. You can tell this is.
I'm loving this. This looks fucking cool. It looks like bismuth. It looks like that. Like I am sure that's what the idea was used for. Like the cubes and like the bismuth cubes.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. From the Lex Luthor's what do they call it?
The interdimensional.
The pocket universe. Anyway,
this is why you don't make a damn pocket universe. Thanks, Mr. Terrific.
John must be into alt type girl.
I will not.
Speculation continues.
Who isn't? Like, really? Come on, big titty goth girls. Come on. Like, who are we to like really deny that? Like, come on now. Anyway, but we're not here to talk about my kinks. We're here to talk about the quick hits, and which are no longer quick. We've been talking about quick hits for the past hour.
Keep on going. Let's keep on going.
This looks cool. Anyway.
It does. Well, remember I mentioned earlier that with Paramount and Skydance coming together, they might spin off a few pieces, like all the TV channels that Paramount owns, like not maybe CBS, but maybe some of the other cable ones. Well, NBC Universal already did that, and the new company that spun off with all the networks that now owns the E! Network, Versant, they have already canceled E! News as the nightly show has axed, and they're looking to maybe bring it back as more of a digital brand, which I'm sure these are the first of many big changes, but there you go. I don't know if you're a fan of E! News, but, you know.
I don't even know what this is. I don't really care.
Moving on. Okay.
Moving on. Oh, look, something else I don't care about. The next Avatar movie.
Avatar Fire and Ash, dude. The villain Varong has been revealed in the new poster in the first trailer. Get this. I don't know if you guys saw this. If any of you guys who have seen Fantastic Four in theaters, they're apparently set to play the first trailer for Avatar Fire and Ash in front of Fantastic Four movie.
I can confirm that. The people I know who have seen the movie have said that Avatar Fire and Ash is a preview.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and you know, Monique, I don't think Entertainment Tonight are as relevant anymore because like you have us, right? And it's more accessible. People.
Yeah, and we're like way fucking better. Like, exactly. Look at us. Like, come on. Man.
Exactly. Come on. come on. I mean, but you're here for the conversation, the banter. Yeah, I was gonna switch to
double
the
stroking beard
music,
action. So yeah.
Was the teaser dark, John? Have you heard? Like, is this movie like?
I haven't seen it. I want to wait till it's on the big screen, and I want when I go see Fantastic Four tomorrow and see it then. It looks cool, but it's just like, Jimmy, my boy. Clearly, you are ripping off the more popular Avatar at this point. Like, oh, there's the Water Tribe. Here's the Fire Tribe. It's like, bro, you don't. This ain't a secret no more.
Speaking of which, the other Avatar is not that far behind. I mean, in money, it's not a comparison, but in terms of popularity, Avatar 7 Heavens has dropped the first look at the new Earthbender Avatar set after The Legend of Korra, John. This is the follow-up series. I think it's going to be on Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus. What did you think about these photos? I don't know. I think they have some of these first looks right here. What did you think about these?
Yeah. I don't know if there's no more. It's just this is the one.
It's just that photo.
It looks interesting, but Legend of Korra left me really disappointed. It was one of those shows that it was like where it was almost great every single season, but then it dropped the ball. And the first season was so good up until the reveal that the guy's just a bloodbender. It's like, all right, that reveal sucked. And then the rest of the show kind of went downhill from there. Like, it had some really interesting ideas. Like with it went more into the spirit world. There was the whole thing with like Korra's arc with her PTSD. There was the whole thing with her like sexuality and all that. That stuff was really interesting, but I feel like it just like so much of that show was just forgettable, and the villains were not terribly interesting, and it was not written all that well, and Korra is a bitch. I don't care what anybody says. I will die on that hill. Korra is a terrible character. But this could be interesting. I mean, it looks like she doesn't have a foot. Her leg is chopped off, so that's interesting. She has like a rock foot.
Oh yeah, you're right.
She has like a peg leg.
Okay.
Or he has a peg leg. I don't know. I think it might be a girl. I don't know, but
okay. We'll find out more. But John Steven is asking a question. Did you watch that live action Avatar on Netflix, which famously the creators of the original?
Fuck no, I didn't watch that shit. Looked like Garbo.
I certainly saw parts of it, but I never quite I didn't catch on with it, honestly, and that's one of the rare TV live action television misses from Netflix, quite frankly. So, but hey, I love the compliment from Monique telling us thank you for the compliment again. We have a very high. We try to keep you guys engaged and entertained. So thank you so much for stopping by. And we appreciate that you guys appreciate what we have to bring here, because it makes it all the more worth it. So trust me, there were days when there was like one person watching, and from that to where we are today, it's honestly a good reminder that, we are here for you guys, and we're so glad that you guys are here watching us. But yeah, I mean, Enterprising liked the TV show better than the movie, which I like to forget that
low bar.
I like to forget that movie ever existed. There's people who are reminded of that.
Let's move on. Let's move on to, oh god, okay. Gross. But here.
I was like, you sure you want to move on? Okay. Jurassic World Rebirth, apparently kind of like what Superman did, with more interest in other DC movies and with crypto leading to 500% increase in dog adoptions. Well, Jurassic World Rebirth, which has made now I think like $600 some odd million worldwide, including 72 million in China, and I don't think
it'll hit $1 billion. I thought it was going to hit $1 billion, but it definitely doesn't seem like it now.
This will be the first Jurassic World movie, but it's also a different economic climate. But nonetheless,
well, it would be the first since I think the third one where it didn't hit $1 billion. I think all of them hit $1 billion.
Like the first Jurassic World movie to not hit $1 billion.
Yeah, Jurassic World. Okay, I thought you meant Jurassic Park in general.
Yeah, and the third one did not. That's true. Even the second one I don't think did. But anyway, Jurassic World Rebirth injects new life into Universal's Dino franchise on Peacock with Dominion, which is the last movie in the franchise. People are watching that now a lot more than before. Its viewing shot up 186%. The fact that the people are watching the last movie as much, even though the story of that movie doesn't have a whole lot to do with this movie, because this is like sort of a new story set a few years apart from the other ones. But that's the one where they brought back Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill and am I forgetting the other actors? Laura Dern. So I'm having a really hard time with names today. So
the whole point of the franchise, which is life finds a way, and then the beginning of this just fucking absolutely shits on that idea. It's like,
completely.
So we're just doing that now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was the most frustrating part for me for this movie. But anyway,
that's
to answer your question,
like Superman letting a gas tank hit into a building for aura farming. Like, come on. Imagine that happening in a Superman movie. That's crazy.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, that did happen. Thanks for that Man of Steel reference, which I did. That was a weird part of that movie. I'll admit, like Superman should have not just gone out of the way of that was it LexCorp? Yeah, LexCorp oil tanker. But anyway, I think, is that the last quick hit that we got? That's it, right? That's it.
No, we have one more. And
we do.
What cartoon are you talking about?
The Avatar cartoon. The original.
The original Avatar Last Airbender. I watched fucking goated. Greatest of all time. That was like the first, like, didn't it win an award or something recently? Or something?
I think it did. Did we talk about that? I don't know.
I think we talked about that.
I think we, yeah. Well, we'll figure it out.
Speaking of Scarlett Johansson, he was in Marvel movies at one point. The last thing is Marvel related. Ha! What a segue. I did check this. It looked kind of AI-y, but I looked it up and these seem to be real. These are behind the scenes images of John Bernthal as the Punisher in the special presentation, not Brand New Day, because Brand New Day has not started filming yet. So this is for the special. And I would say he looks pretty cool. Look at him with that beard. I would say if these, like, I did check, but obviously it could come out tomorrow. Like, oh, hey, these were all fake. So like those.
Can you zoom into those
images.
Actually? Can you zoom in? Because I think I know these images have sort of given us a little bit closer look. There you go. So they're going back to that classic Punisher logo, which I know we did that in Daredevil Born Again, so it's not nearly too much of a surprise. I do like the hairdo.
So this looks like John Bernthal to me. Like, I'm not crazy. That looks like him, right?
It is. That's him. That looks like him. He's just
kind of looks like John Krasinski a little bit.
Low resolution images will do that, but I'm excited, man. This is looking nice, and I know Liz is going to be happy to see this. She's going to be on Bulge Watch with watching the Punisher. She enjoyed John Bernthal and the Accountant too. So, but let us know what you guys think. I mean, we're getting more and more of these behind the scenes photos of Punisher. It's coming out next year, the special presentation on Disney Plus, in addition to Daredevil Born Again Season 2. But that brings us to the end of the news segment of the show, news quick hits. Let us know which part of that was your favorite, because of course for us, all of it was fun, despite the fact that, John ranted on Margot Robbie for 5 minutes, but that's okay. That's why you're here. And with that, hit the like button if you haven't already, but we're not done yet, guys. Now it's time to get into the main event of the show, because we talked about Superman earlier a little bit. We talked about Fantastic Four. Now we're going to talk about Superman some more, as well as a lot of other DC stuff, because now it's time. It's time to get into DC. And, well, as James Gunn would say, the show's already been blessed from the beginning, so we might as well get to the best parts where James Gunn tells us what he is bringing to the new DCU, including potentially what he might reveal at the Peacemaker Comic-Con panel on Saturday. So let's talk about that.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka!
All right, welcome on
Honka indeed.
Honka indeed. Welcome on into another episode of DCU Daily. John, what are you most excited to talk about on today's DCU Daily part of the show?
I'm actually excited to talk about a last-minute addition that we made, since it's trailer and it just came out an hour ago, so I included it. So I'm very excited to talk about that. So, yeah, even you don't know about it. So we'll see. Well, I did send it to you, but we'll see, because
I genuinely don't know where you're talking. Wait, hold on. Where did you? Oh, did you see it? Did you see the? Okay,
I watched most of the trailer. I couldn't see most of it because I was trying to pay attention to the show. But
yeah,
it looks really cool.
Enterprising is excited. Okay, all right. Well, the first thing we got to get into is Jeff Snyder, your favorite in Snyder, John. The favorite. He goes by the in Snyder. He might not always get it right, but he does get it right sometimes. And well, I think it was Steven or Enterprising. Somebody brought this up yesterday on the show right as we were ending. So here we go. As part of one of his latest updates, he said that. Well, the Teen Titans script, which of course Anna Nogueira, now we know she's writing, the Wonder Woman movie. She wrote Supergirl, and of course, in between those two, she was also tapped to write the Teen Titans project. Apparently, she has turned in the script for Teen Titans. John, your thoughts? Do you think this is accurate? Do you think it makes sense?
No, because it's Jeff Snyder. It's my biggest op. Like fuck him, fuck Jeff Snyder. But remember, as we always say, the only Snyder that should be attached to DC is Scott Snyder. And that's it. That is the only Snyder that should be attached to DC in any way, shape, or form. Hell yeah. So fuck Jeff Snyder. Fuck this guy. He's a loser. I don't think this is real. But I would like to see it turned in. But I mean, considering I would imagine it's close. Considering that she's now tapped for Wonder Woman, and that's being quote unquote fast tracked. I know James Gunn said, "Well, it's not fast tracked; it's just a priority." So, but I would imagine that she's probably going to
really
start
happy and excited
writing
about it,
with that. So,
yeah, he seems to be really excited for it. So I can only imagine. I mean, must be happy with the results for Teen Titans, which makes me wonder. I mean, is it the first draft? Is it finished? Where it's at? Let the speculation begin if this is even true. Scott Steiner. Wait, Scott Steiner? Did you make a reference to Scott Steiner math somewhere? I don't know what we were talking about, but I do love Scott Steiner math. It's great math.
I said Scott Snyder.
Yeah, I think Elite Easy heard Scott Steiner. Have you heard of this? Have you seen the Scott Steiner math video? It's an all-timer. It's one of the funniest things because you wouldn't believe a man like him would know how to do math well, but apparently he does. He gets it right. He gets it right. What was it So the Kurt Angle that means Kurt Angle has a 66 and 1/3% chance to beat me, which isn't. Without Samoa Joe, I was like, whatever. It was TNA days, wrestling references. But as far as Teen Titans goes, like Monique said, just because the script is turned in doesn't mean the movie's going to happen.
Of course.
So it's not greenlit yet. But we'll have to wait to hear from James Gunn about it.
Sometimes. All the time.
He's got a spotty record. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. We got to talk about Mr. Terrific a little bit because John, I know that he's been talking about it in many interviews recently, but we know now that Mr. Terrific, Abby Kategi, the actor who of course is also in For All Mankind, he's in Superman. He was one of the standouts from the movie. He has a multi-picture deal in place to play Mr. Terrific. So we know there was potentially a spin-off series that James Gunn was thinking about. Josh Horowitz asked him on the Happy Sad Confused podcast about it directly, and James Gunn was really coy and sort of sidestepped the question. But my question to you would be, do you think this multi-picture deal means that he's gonna get movies? Is he gonna? Where do you think Mr. Terrific works best? Standalone movie series? TV show?
It depends on what the multi-picture deal means. Is it multi-picture or multiple
appearances? Yeah.
Appearances, projects. What is it? If it's multi-picture, that means it's only movies. But if it's multiple appearances or projects, that means it could go across anything. Hell, even video games. I seriously doubt that. But it would be movies and TV, because if it's multiple appearances, then that means he would be in shows and stuff like that. I mean, it's, they keep talking about this whole thing of he's getting a spinoff soon because he was such a big fan favorite. So I could definitely see them doing that. I think he would work better for a show, and I'm not just talking about the Terrifics. It's just I would love to see him being a superhero, but then also at the same time, working as the guy for Holt Industries Corporation, whatever it's called. So I think that would be really cool to see. Again, I didn't love Mr. Terrific as much as everybody else did, but I still really liked him, and he was very charismatic in the role. I think he owned it, and I would love to see him more. And I'm not just talking about it like, yeah, I mean that could work. I would like to see the Terrifics at some point, whatever it is, but I don't think we're going to be getting that anytime soon. But I would like to see him in a movie sometime. So yeah. I don't know why it's quiet.
Oh, sorry, I'm back. My microphone is muted. I was just gonna say, Enterprising is mentioning the Teen Titans movie. He wants it to be fun. It has a lot of potential. I do agree that it has a lot of potential for sure. But we've talked about at length in the past. Like, it depends on the lineup of characters. Are they gonna have a Damian Wayne led Teen Titans, or are they going to go with a different Robin? Are we going to have Dick Grayson? Is it going to be Nightwing and all those things? But we'll see if it gets greenlit. That'd be fun. As far as Mr. Terrific goes, I agree with you. I think the Terrific should be the direction they go in, but I doubt they're going to do that anytime soon because they haven't even established a Justice League. So I don't think they're giving him his own team just yet. I would love to see a Justice Gang kind of a focused show that he's a part of. I mean, Nathan Fillion is a big star on television. He's got Rookie and many other things going on already. So between that and Isabella Merced, I think she just signed up for another new movie. She's in The Last of Us for at least another season or two. So, but it seems like she's going to be game potentially. If James Gunn were to say, why don't you come back and play Hawkgirl in a TV show for HBO Max, I'm sure it would work. And Mr. Terrific, I'd love to see him. I mean, whether it's a featured appearance where he's the lead or whether he's a supporting character, he's going to be around for a long time. So yeah, I think he's not going anywhere. And he does deserve his flowers. And hopefully, maybe he will meet the Spectre. I'm sure James Gunn will be aware of that storyline. So, all right, let's keep on going here, John. We have a couple other things before we get into Booster Gold talk, because of course, why can't we can't go a single day without getting another behind the scenes look at Superman, because James Gunn just loves this movie, and rightfully so. And this to me was one of the best parts of what he has given us so far in terms of these behind the scenes looks, because Jolene here was one of the stand-in dogs for Crypto on set. Like, you could tell how much he looks like the Crypto that we got. Of course, the mannerisms of Crypto are based on James Gunn's own dog Ozu, but he wasn't the only one. We saw I think we've seen this behind-the-scenes photo of like Rachel Brosnahan hugging Jolene on the T-Sphere set. But John, your thoughts on this more cute doggies that went into the making of Crypto?
I'm loving the dogs. Loving more dogs. Give me more dogs. Hell yeah.
Hell to the yeah. All right. Well, let's keep on rolling here, John. What we got next?
Depressed Metamorpho. This is definitely going to be a meme.
Can you click on it? Because this is basically James Gunn asking, are you going to go see the movie again this weekend? Which Angelica's going to see it on Monday.
Not the best thing, because it looks like he's like upset or angry. It's like, would people be upset or angry seeing Superman again? So
he's sort of tired. I guess he's probably spent like 9 hours in the makeup chair alone. I'd imagine he's tired. But I don't know. This looks good to me. Again, showing off the VFX for Metamorpho. I think some of the best parts of the movie were Metamorpho related. I didn't expect that. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can go see Superman again this weekend. I don't know, John. Are you itching?
I'm gonna try and see it maybe on Sunday. I don't think F1 is still in theaters, so I probably missed my chance for that. But I would like to see Superman again, because I'm seeing Fantastic Four tomorrow. I'm seeing Happy Gilmore 2 on Saturday, and so I don't have enough time. So I probably got to see it Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, some of you guys are watching a little bit behind, so you guys are still looking at the Crypto comments. But anyway, let's keep on going, John. We got what do we got next? Let's see. Are we getting to Booster Gold? No, we got
Peacemaker.
Talk about Peacemaker, John. Yep. So this is part of the new podcast that James Gunn has got up and running for the Peacemaker season 2. This is the official podcast with James Gunn himself. I mean, like, the man doesn't sleep, right? Did you get a chance to check this out? Because this episode in the very first one,
I checked out a little bit of it.
he's addressing some of like what's canon, what's not canon in the new DCU. What did you think about it?
I never reached that part. I watched maybe about a quarter of it. It's good. It's interesting so far. I'm not really a podcast kind of guy, but ironic, I know, considering what I'm doing right now. But I think so he's mainly talking about like the beginning processes of the episode, which is like where the characters are, where the ideas came from, like filming post-COVID and like filming in another country post-COVID, because this was filmed in Vancouver, where a lot of TV shows are filmed. So it's interesting how like things lead up to that, and it's like I haven't watched the whole thing. I'll watch it eventually, but I think this is an interesting watch for anybody that before before like season 2 comes out.
Yeah. Am I back? Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my audio cut out of there a little bit. I think this is one of the best things that James Gunn is probably going to be doing this summer.
But man, my bro needs to fucking sleep.
He does. But here's what I will say.
Literally, I literally put as my comment, I didn't even watch it, which is a cardinal sin. Don't leave a comment unless you watched it. But it was sort of a general thing that had nothing to do with the video. I just said, does this man fucking sleep? Like, does this man ever sleep? It's like that Rob. It's like Rob Lowe's character from Thank You for Smoking. When do you sleep? Sunday. Like that's just when he sleeps.
That's me. That's also
you
me.
Sleep? You sleep at all?
It's a great question. That's a great question. Okay, so I will try to, but I will. My thing here is this is a very different looking podcast than what they've been doing with the DC Studios official podcast, and also, I mean, it just goes to show you the man loves Peacemaker. Like, why would he be doing this if he didn't love talking about Peacemaker? And it gives him hopefully an outlet where he's not just responding to comments on threads all the time. So, yeah, I love Thank You for Smoking. Well, John, this is the podcast that is on now, and they're going to have a weekly episode leading into it. And when Peacemaker's airing, they're going to be talking about the episodes each week when they come out. So, yeah, maybe he made a deal with Morpheus. That might be true enterprising.
Yeah, Monique. Thank you for Smoking. That is such a fucking underrated movie. So good. So good. Anyway.
Yep. Is it? Do you think they filmed this in Peter's office? Could be. There's some black curtains behind him. Anyway, this looks interesting. Go check it out. We're going to be listening to it, obviously, because James Gunn probably will drop some, casually just dropping some news bombs in there, but we'll talk about it when the time comes. But hey, John, the next thing we want to talk about is Booster Gold related.
Actually, we're not going to be talking about Booster Gold just yet. We're going to be talking the little tidbit that I wanted to talk about. But apparently the trailer dropped for Aztec Batman Clash of Empires. While we were live, this trailer booted up, and obviously this is not going to be a theatrical film, but it is going to be a straight to digital. It's probably going to be on HBO Max, but it's essentially an Elseworld story where it's like, hey, what if Batman was in like Aztec times? And
I like the design and the artwork in this.
Yeah, it definitely reminds me of that artwork a little bit of like Tomorrowverse, but like slightly more exaggerated. But like they have like, the idea of like, the Spaniards come in and like the conquistadors fucking come in and, be murdering Aztecs because that's what they do. And so the idea of like this guy gets his dad killed in front of him, and so he becomes what is Batman. And then other characters show up. It seems to be Catwoman, Joker, Two-Face, Poison Ivy. They all kind of show up in this like alternate Elseworld universe, and it looks really fucking cool. Like, not gonna lie, it's just like, look, this bat suit right here, it looks pretty baller, if I do say so. Like, look at that.
That's
look how fucking cool that looks.
Oh my god. Okay, no, I'm in. I'm gonna watch this. So this is at San Diego Comic-Con. So when is this? Is this going to be an HBO Max? What's the release date for this?
I would assume it just says look for it on digital. It says at the very end.
Okay.
But
All
yeah.
right, okay. That looks fun.
Yeah, that's Catwoman. Fun. You can kind of see her a little bit. That's her right there.
Oh,
and then
okay.
And then he becomes the main conquistador becomes he becomes Two-Face. So it's like that's he's holding his face and like that whole thing. But then yeah, dude, there he is. Yeah. So
dude, this is the kind of thing that I would love to see turn into an Elseworld live action movie, right? This would do really well if somebody took it seriously and didn't just make it like a wonky, terrible movie. But like, this looks good. Is that a Joker? Is that a Joker in there?
Yeah, that's Joker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, this looks good. Okay, I'm in. Wallet's open.
Wallet's open, yeah. Even though you don't need your wallet, but like, I mean, unless you don't have HBO Max, then wallet open. But yeah, this looks baller as hell.
Okay, well, John, I did not know. I mean, hey, a pleasant surprise. Love it. Can't wait for more. Give me it now. What is did you listening to this? What's the story? So you said the story is basically he ends up at this. So this is a time travel thing. Like, tell me.
No. This is just. It's not like Batman Ninja where it's like or like Suicide Isekai where it's just like those characters we know in another world. It's just like what if Batman was an Aztec, like in Aztec times? Like it's just a random like Aztec kid, and he's he just becomes a Bat warrior character, and then there's other characters that fit the idea or the archetypes of other characters. Like there is a Joker counterpart, there's a Two-Face counterpart, there's a Catwoman counterpart. Yeah, I know. But why are you saying that to me? I didn't say anything about the fucking Joker.
I did. I don't. Well, no. I didn't even say it was a negative thing to me. I thought it was like a good thing that they have Joker in there.
Yeah. Oh, Batman Soul the Dragon, so fucking underrated. I loved Batman. That is like without a doubt one of the best Batman anime. I like straight up. I'm gonna get hate for this. I know I'm gonna get hate for this. I thought Batman Soul the Dragon was better than Mask of the Phantasm. Mic drop. I said it. Mask of the Phantasm is great. I thought Soul of the Dragon was even better. The only major negative I have is that it ends on a cliffhanger, and we're probably never going to get a sequel. And then I hate how they made Richard Dragon just Bruce Lee for some reason. Because it's like, hey, remember, kids, white people can't know martial arts for some reason. So, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what Absolute Batman is like, the whole point of that. Does Batman still work if there's no billionaire alter ego? That's what Absolute Batman is. That's the whole point of Absolute Batman is like, does Batman still work as a character if he's not a billionaire? So,
I don't know if Monique has read Absolute Batman, but I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it. Like, I haven't read it, but I know of it. Like, the whole thing of like the Absolute universe, it takes something away from these characters, and like, would they remain the same? Like, the whole thing is like, Batman, you take away his wealth. Superman, you take away his life on Earth. Wonder Woman, you take away Themyscira. So it's like you take something, and then the Flash, you take away Barry Allen and the Speed Force, and it's like, are these characters the same? It's going to lead up to DCKO. I don't know if the Absolute universe is going to like go the way of the Ultimates, where it's just going to get nuked. I don't know, but yeah,
maybe. Who knows? Don't know about the Phantom. That Phantom is the tips, but haha, Soul of the Dragon was produced by Bruce Timm. Okay,
yeah, it was produced by him because he didn't write it or direct it, which means it didn't suck. So he needs to just produce things and just leave it at that. It's just like, oh, he's the reason why Batman the Animated Series was good. It's like, no, the reason Batman the Animated Series was good was Paul Dini and the other writers, not because of Bruce Timm. Bruce Timm can draw pretty well, and he can produce some stuff, but that's about it. So they just need to. Yeah, I didn't really care about I didn't watch the Yakuza or the Batman Ninja movies, so.
Yeah, well, we got Anthony asking about how do they portray Alfred and Absolute Batman that's going on right now? I don't know, John. If you know, do you know about that? I don't know if we've talked about.
I don't read it, so I don't know.
Good question. Neither of us have, but welcome on into the chat, Anthony. Thanks for stopping in. John, Elite Easy. Okay. A public relations recommend that we watch Thank You for Smoking to get insight into how PR works. There you go. Thank you for that, Justin Geeky Guy. And now I believe we're going into some Booster Gold news, shall we, John? Let's talk about Booster Gold, because I know yesterday we discussed it, because we now have a new writer for Booster Gold. But before, was it David Jenkins who signed on? Before it was David Jenkins, there was somebody else involved. But like one of the things, before we even get to that, one of the things I wanted to kind of quickly mention again, in case you missed it, in that Deadline article, they did confirm they have yet to cast a Booster Gold for this new DC universe. So we don't yet have somebody for the role, although we talked about how Kumail Nanjiani might still be in the running, Chris Pratt could still be it. What was your favorite, John, that you wanted to pitch?
I wanted Billy Magnuson. Yeah. I think he would be really good. Yes. Boom. Like, Bruce Timm ships always suck, whether it's Bruce and Barbara or Terry and was it Dana? Yeah, fuck them. Gross stuff. Yep. He nasty. Anyway, but yeah, DC clearly doesn't have. Everybody is being like, oh, Sean William Scott should be. Sean William Scott could have been Booster Gold like 20 years ago. I think that's if they made a Booster Gold movie in the 2000s. Yeah, Sean William Scott, 100%.
Right.
But the guy's in his like late 40s, early 50s. He's just way too old at this point. For what they've revealed, because I think they revealed that they want specifically a early 20 something for Booster Gold, which seems like they are going to be like, it seems like allegedly, maybe this is just rumor mill, where Booster Gold is going to be teaming up with Jaime Reyes instead of Ted Kord, which is kind of disappointing, but they could probably make it work. But I would prefer Booster Gold to be like in late 20s, early 30s, and him being like with like Ted Kord. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think he would be okay, but like I think again, Billy Magnuson, I think there was another really good. I know Glenn Powell. Ew, gross. All right, I guess you're okay with Leo dating like exclusively like 19-year-olds. Gross. Anyway, okay. Because they want to build a franchise out of them.
Yeah, that's why they want to go younger. You know, Alexander Skarsgård could work.
No, he's way too serious. Way too serious.
Maybe he wants to expand his like acting portfolio. Maybe he wants to grow.
For me personally, I think the best ones, if you want to go with extreme nobody, that's very unlikely. I think Shane Topp could be good. I know he's just like the guy at Smosh, but like I think he's genuinely funny. He's a good actor, and I think he has the look for it. And then I personally, Billy Magnuson, like he clicks off every box of that character. And then, but he's like in his mid 30s, so he might be too old. And then Glenn Powell, I think he's too much of like, he's like, that guy was like an instant A-lister. So like, he's too famous.
Yeah. Who are you talking about from Eternals? Or are you talking about he played Joker, right? Are you talking about the guy who played, I think you're talking about, what's his name?
Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, Kumail Nanjiani. Oh, no. Well, he's not officially cast yet. So that's Kumail Nanjiani has not been cast yet. At least we don't have anybody.
These are like terrible. Are you high? Are you high right now? Because like if you are, I want some of that puff because that is wow. That is like that's one of the worst fan castings I've ever heard for Booster Gold in my life.
Let's not be mean, but you know it's
but like that's like this dude is like this skinny waif, black haired like dude, it's like, no, I can't. I mean, like, he's not funny like Booster Gold. He's like an okay actor, and the dude is like skinnier than a stick. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. But Anthony Jeselnik, he's funny, but he's too deadpan, way too dead. Like that dude is like would be like the straight man, but Booster Gold is like the goofy comic relief kind of guy. Like he needs to be like goofy funny, but I will say I love the shout for Jeselnik because Jeselnik is fucking hilarious. But yeah, okay, I was gonna be like, whoa, what are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, Anthony just trolling. Okay, clearly. But Jordan's saying, and it's a good point, the show isn't greenlit yet, so I don't think they're going to start looking for somebody for the role until they greenlight the show, which they need the pilot script to be really good, which David Jenkins is working on. But John, David Jenkins wasn't the first one working on this. I know you sort of were on.
I mentioned this yesterday, and I was right. I was right.
So can you break it down for us? Because I think we talked about this, the Righteous Gemstones like writing room, including what's his name? Well, what am I forgetting? Danny McBride apparently was part of this.
So what happened was, I thought it was just a rumor, but it turns out it was correct. I think it was probably perpetuated as a rumor, but it was just never confirmed. But David Jenkins is confirming it right now that yes, he is part of the Booster Gold show. It would be on HBO Max. It wouldn't be like a Penguin situation where it's on HBO and HBO Max. It's just going to be on HBO Max. And that apparently Danny McBride and I think Jody Hill, because he was also for Righteous Gemstone, but it looks like it's just Danny McBride, was going to do the show. And then he bowed out at the last second. He probably had something else lined up after Righteous Gemstones ended. So he's going off to do that, which is probably a blessing in disguise because no, I mean, Danny McBride can't, like, he was good in like This Is the End, but like, that's about it. But I think this guy seems like a good fit and whatever it is. But yeah, so I'm just saying I was right.
Yeah, you were right. You were right. And we talked about it. Well, I think on the show we talked about it a long time ago that Danny McBride, and then of course, like you said, David Jenkins confirmed it that Danny McBride was indeed involved. I know that when we talked about it, it was never confirmed. So it was sort of like rumor, hearsay. James Gunn never said anything. So now I guess, yeah, I mean, David Jenkins finally addresses it, that it is indeed was the case that Danny McBride and his team were working on it. Didn't work out, but yeah, here we are. By the way, for the casting for Booster Gold, like 20s actors won't get the youngins in the door, 30 plus for us oldies. Yeah, I mean, but like I said though in the comments, I think they might be looking for a younger Booster Gold because they might be wanting to match him with the Jaime Reyes version of Blue Beetle. So maybe that's what it is. I mean, you know, and whether you guys are looking at Harry Styles or Jacob Elordi or Timothy Chalamet, I think they're all too big a star to be.
Yeah, you need to get like a TV star or someone like that's not an A-lister to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Finn Wolfhard could play a villain, but I don't know. Like, he hasn't really expanded on his career so far.
He kind of just plays the same character and everything. Yeah. The only major thing is
like that horror movie.
And
what was that other horror movie?
And then apparently Hell of a Summer was atrociously awful. So you know.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe he will get a role. I mean, we'll see. He's got Stranger Things season 5 coming up, and maybe that will lead to other opportunities. But anyway,
hopefully.
Yeah. Well, but John, now we have to kind of like get back into our main event mode, which has been and will continue to be probably for a little while longer. Superman. So we know Superman is sort of struggling at the international box office, is doing really well domestically. I think the reason why we mentioned before, James Gunn talked about it yesterday, we pulled up a quote talking about how it had to do with the fact that Superman is a very American associated character, and there's a lot of anti-American sentiment out there. Also, Batman is a more popular character, so relatively speaking, Superman doesn't do as well abroad as somebody like a Batman does, historically speaking. But there was an article that I saw today in I think it's the Hollywood Reporter, John. Let's pull this up, and they did a nice comparison. They sort of broke it down. Let's if you zoom into it a little bit more, let's scroll down, and they talk about how Man of Steel, before even Man of Steel, Superman Returns, like that was the first time Bryan Singer kind of got rid of the whole, true justice in the American way part of the marketing to appeal to the international audiences a lot more. And as a result of that, and if you scroll a little bit further down here, they do the breakdown. Superman Returns made a good chunk of its money abroad. I think the percentage that they say here was 49%, roughly half of Superman Returns box office, which was the highest for the Superman franchise up until that point, 391 million. It made about half of that money internationally. And then Zack Snyder's Man of Steel did even better, making about 57% of its money internationally. And again, the rest of it was domestic, which accounted for like 379 million. Obviously, none of these are numbers adjusted for inflation, But Man of Steel did really well too in 2013. Then 2016, obviously Batman v Superman, you have Batman in the picture, so it's not a fair comparison. But that movie also, it made an even bigger percentage, 62% of its take internationally. And China, it did really well too. But the big thing that they point out here, I know you guys brought this up, I think Hunter Iggy mentioned it yesterday. China, since the pandemic, has really made it difficult for Hollywood movies to do well in this local markets, especially because they're trying to promote the local nationalist, kind of genre movies, and like Ne Zha 2, for example, right? And so that's really left a lot of Hollywood movies just not making a ton of money there. And even with James Gunn and Peter Safran going over and on the Beijing being the last stop on the tour, Superman kind of crapped out with not even making like 8 digits. I think it was like it didn't even make 10 million. I think it was in China before they kind of they pulled it from the screens in China. And you look at that now versus before the pandemic. We talked about Aquaman did really well there. But today with Superman already being a very American character, and nowadays China's, especially if there's anti-American sentiment anywhere, it's in China these days, considering all the policy making that's going on in the current presidential administration, John. So I'm not surprised that these are all reasons why, but I thought I wanted to bring this article in because a big part of this addresses the fact that, look, China has really made it difficult for Hollywood movies to survive over there. And even most other Hollywood movies don't do very well. It's a rare exception, like a Jurassic World Rebirth goes and makes 72 million, or back in the day, like Man of Steel made a good amount of money. Aquaman made a ton of money. Mission Impossible did really well this year. But even then, they're not making anywhere close to the money that they used to make. So, and it seems like so far, significantly less than 50% of the box office for Superman is coming from the international markets. Do you think that trend will continue? Because the movie's still doing well. It's well on its way to 500 million, but it looks like a bigger chunk of it is going to come from the domestic market. Does that surprise you based on the reasoning here, especially post-pandemic, how the markets have changed?
Yeah, I don't think this is going to change. I think it's just Hollywood needs to come away with the fact that China is done with Hollywood. They're focusing on their own movies. I mean, literally just in their country alone, Ne Zha made 2 billion. If those numbers are true, because I still have a very hard time believing that it made that amount of money that quickly. And I'm like, all right, yeah, okay. Also said COVID came from the guy with the bat, but whatever. Yeah. So I just think
a lot of economic stuff too.
Yeah, there's economic stuff, like COVID is still an impact, like all of this stuff, and Superman's a very traditional hero, but and then you have Jurassic World, that's just about dinosaurs. There's no American sentiment there, so and even that is not making a ton. It made 200 million overseas or 100 something million overseas, and that's still not even close to fucking Aquaman and the Transformers movies and the Fast and Furious movies that made nearly $1 billion in China alone. So
the Avengers usually they're the exception, but even overall it's down because its access to cinema screens in China in general is now much more limited for Hollywood movies that even get to play there. And they already have a limited number of movies that go to play in China. So it's just, China is not making it easier. They're making it harder. And I know that you were mentioning earlier, Captain America does well internationally, even though in his name. Well, I think the reason why is because most people go to see Captain America movies because it's part of the MCU, less so about, Captain America. And even then, the first Captain America movie, which was probably the most American patriotic Captain America movie of them all, didn't do as much as the next two did, which felt very different. The Winter Soldier was definitely a rail against the system, very much against American ideals in a lot of ways. It kind of was, I think it kind of played into the whole anti-American sentiment more than anything else.
Exactly.
And then
exactly
because it was the very anti-establishment. But yeah, good. Yeah, Anthony Manzano, a good point. A lot of box office analysts say they don't trust anything coming out of China when it comes to the box office because they can fudge the numbers because they don't verify them through the same, companies that run all these numbers and verify and do the tracking for all the other countries out there. So that's also part of the issue. But yeah, And yeah, exactly. I mean, John Cusack, like he's just doing Chinese cinema. China like has a big market, and there's a lot of money to be made. It's just unfortunate that they choose not to participate in the international markets as much as they used to. But to each their own. And well, it looks like Superman is just not doing well, and a big part of it is China, but it's not just China. I think it's in general. There's a lot of anti-American sentiment abroad, and
anti-American,
better
and
or for
COVID,
worse,
and nobody's going to see the movies anymore at the theater.
And also, Superman is repairing the damage that DC had done to its brand image, which Batman is immune to. But outside of Batman and Batman-related characters like Joker, a lot of other DC characters have struggled. Superman being the big one. So, yeah. And look, a good example is Wicked was incredibly profitable, even though it didn't perform as well internationally, whereas F1 is doing a lot better internationally. So not every movie needs to be good everywhere to make money. But you see here these numbers, John. Right now, Superman is expected to cross easily 450 million worldwide at the end of this third weekend, and you can see how it's getting closer to 300 million domestically and internationally. It's got 172.8 million roughly. So it's on its way. If you go to the next article quickly, and then we'll come back to this one. Superman had a pretty favorable second Tuesday at the box office. Now today's Thursday. We don't have official. We will get into the Wednesday numbers in a minute, but we don't have Thursday numbers yet because we're still on Thursday. But this second Tuesday and third week of its release, Superman made 10 million, John, 10.1 million on a second Tuesday. Which, if you count the days, that's what almost 14 days into release, roughly. Because
like 10 days,
12,
maybe?
13. Because let's say if you count for the Amazon Prime previews, which was I guess it's negative Tuesday, because then the first Tuesday was last week, which was 4 or 5 days into release. It's still making double-digit millions, 8 figures, which is a lot better than Man of Steel, and even better than Batman. A lot better than Batman v Superman. You can tell that the positive reception for this movie is shining through because it's holding not just on the weekends when everybody goes to see the movies, but the midweek, which obviously summertime helps, but it's a good sign that Superman is still making 8 figures on the weekdays. And if you go back, I mean, 6.6 million on a Wednesday makes sense, enterprising. We're going to get into that if you scroll down here, John. 6.6 million Wednesday is considered the least movie going, the what would we call it, the lowest grossing movie going day of the week. So it makes sense that Wednesday it made 6.6 million, but that I think might be the second time in its entire run so far. If you go to the day by day breakdown, John, if you go further down, that's only the second day. Today was only the second day since this movie has come out at the domestic box office where Superman has made 7 digits at the box office. This Monday was the first one, and this Wednesday was the second one. So, yeah, I mean, that's impressive. Look at it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And if you count the previews, 12. 12 out of the 14 days the Superman has been in release, it has made 8 figures at the box office. That has helped Warner Brothers have the most 8-figure box office, days over Disney.
And it's always been, number one as well.
Number one.
So there's
number one, which will also change. But dude, it's climbing up in Rotten Tomatoes back to 84%. Angelica saying, I hope it surpasses 400 million domestic, because international, I mean, I think it's going to probably get to 250, maybe 300. But if it can do domestic 400, then John, that's the magic number everybody's hoping for, the 700 million, which is projected. Do you think it's going to get there based on where the numbers are right now?
I think so. I think it could get there.
Yeah. And to answer Swastik's question, I read right at the top of the show, we talked about Fantastic Four. Currently, Fantastic Four is projecting to make less domestically than Superman, about 10, 15 million less. But it could change, so we'll have to keep our eye out.
Yeah, it could change. It could be, we'll see.
Yeah, because Liz saw it and she loved it. A lot of you guys in the chat who saw the movie today loved it. Nico is here saying 600 to 700 million is still on the table for Superman. And like I said, there's only 2 days Superman has not made at least 10 million at the box office so far. That was this Monday and Wednesday, which is acceptable because, after a big weekend, and then Wednesdays, not as many people are doing it. Yeah. So, and good point, Monique. There's a lot more international competition out there now, Bollywood, Korean cinema. So Superman is fighting today in 2025 a lot more competition than Man of Steel did 12 years ago. So, but 700 million is still well within reach. And you know what? Look, be positive, right? Because even if Warner Brothers, if that report were true, which Warner Brothers never said officially, it was just a report saying that they would like for it to do 500 million. John, do you think it gets there by this time next week? Do you think it gets there by the end of its third weekend? Can it make enough money domestically and internationally for Superman to hit 500 million by Monday?
I don't know about that, but like I could, see it getting. I could see it maybe getting 400, but maybe not 500. Wait, do you mean 500? Sorry, do you mean 500 worldwide?
Worldwide, yeah.
Oh yeah, I could maybe see that. Yeah, I could see that.
For me, like by this time, like by next Thursday, I definitely think 500 is in the cards. It will probably be well past 500 actually at that point, because it will have a bigger drop this weekend. Last weekend, it made 57 million, 58 million, which was like roughly 50%, a little over a 50% drop from its opening weekend. It was better than what they expected it to do, and I think even if you make half of that this weekend, which I think is very possible. Because a lot of people will do double features, a super fantastic, weekend at the cinemas or theaters. I think 450, it's going to cross probably, halfway through the weekend. It's probably going to get close to, if not actually hit 500 by this time next week. Right now, where I think it's headed is somewhere between 600 to 650. I don't know if it gets to 700 unless the international markets pick up a little bit, which they are expecting things to pick up a little bit in the coming weeks, but we'll see. We'll see. By the way, Steven Ortega has made it to Cheesecake Factory. And on that note, I think we should probably make it to the Cheesecake Factory, proverbially speaking. I know, John, you're going to see Fantastic Four tomorrow. Liz saw it today. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about Fantastic Four tomorrow on the show in a non-spoiler review. Then Monday, we're talking about Fantastic Four in a spoiler fashion. So we're going to do a full spoiler chat like we did for Superman. Liz will be on, John will be on, I'll be on. We'll be talking about Fantastic Four. We're going to discuss Superman's box office performance over the weekend. We'll see if it's improving internationally. And well, guys, if there's any other breaking news, we'll get into that. San Diego Comic-Con, of course, is this weekend. So Monday, we're talking about Peacemaker Season 2 and all the other revelations James Gunn might have for us. And, of course, we still have tomorrow. So keep an eye out. If you have any news topics you'd like for us to cover, drop them in the comments down below. It is Friday tomorrow, so we'll probably bring in some questions and comments that you guys have for the Q&A session that we do every Friday. But until then, guys, thank you again, John, for another terrific show. Whichever side of the fence you sit on, we're all here for the love of the movies, whether it's DC or Marvel. Make sure to stop by tomorrow. Until then, guys, as James Gunn and Superman would tell you, don't forget to look up.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts. Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in the stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka!